Platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports up against a deadline to find a way out of its bankruptcy. Sears announced plans on Friday to close 80 more stores in March. Sears officials told employees it will begin liquidation sales at 43 Sears and 37 Kmart stores in 2 weeks. Sears chairman Eddie Lampert proposed to buy the company as a whole through his hedge fund, ESL Investment. He has propped up the company with funding for several years. CNBC reported Eddie Lampert submitted a $4.4 billion bid in an effort to buy the retailer and keep it alive, adding that the offer came just in time to meet the 4 p.m. deadline. Last week, a bankruptcy court allowed Sears Holding to sell its home improvement services business to Service.com for $60 million. The store, once a shopping mall mainstay, has slowly declined in recent years and was slow to respond to the trend in online shopping. It filed for bankruptcy in October with about 700 stores still open, but plans to close 142 unprofitable locations. The closure of another 40 stores was announced in November. If Lampert secures a bid, it would save all of Sears' remaining assets, but some creditors have said they would prefer to liquidate the company. Experts say most of the already closed stores will likely face demolition because of difficulty in finding new tenants to utilize stores of that size, typically 10,000 square feet or more. In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. Reuters reports New York City police will use an aerial drone for the first time to monitor crowds gathered in Times Square on Monday for the New Year's Eve ball drop celebrations, according to officials on Friday, adding that there is no known threat to the night's festivities. The camera-carrying drone will be tethered to the roof of a building and will not fly directly over the hundreds of thousands of revelers in the area, but it will add an additional vantage point alongside the 1,225 fixed video cameras that police will deploy. Using counter-drone technology, the New York Police Department will also work with federal agents to thwart any civilians attempting to fly their own drones through Manhattan's canyons as 2019 dawns. The security plan includes closing off blocks around Times Square to traffic and deploying thousands of police officers, uniformed and plainclothed, in the crossroads and surrounding streets. Crews have even sealed shut manholes to prevent sewers from being used as a means to bypass security checkpoints. Police have also taken special precautions at high-rise hotels around Times Square, aiming to prevent any would-be attacker from using a hotel room as a sniper's nest. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The Dick Cheney Vice Presidential Library opens in a pitch-dark, sulfurous underground cave, and a seedless watermelon is coming to grips with the fact it'll never be able to have kids. This is the Onion Week in Review. Following a litany of tragedies occurring over the past year, a report this week from scientists at Princeton University confirmed that 90% of the Earth's atmosphere is now made up of thoughts and prayers. Researchers confirmed that with the rise of tragic events occurring all across the world each and every day, the Earth's atmosphere is 7% nitrogen, 3% oxygen, and 90% emotional pleas begging for everything to be okay. In other news, a new study finds nothing that will actually convince you to change your lifestyle, so just forget it. UMass Dartmouth is beginning to regret offering a course in applied domestic terrorism, and a sparrow thinks it might have caught the bird flu after puking seeds all morning. Stay tuned after the video for a brief tear in the fabric of space-time, offering a glimpse at next week's Onion Review. And keep checking theonion.com for more.
This is the Onion News Network.
Talk Live. This
This is Free Talk Live, and we are here for what is the final Saturday edition of the show for 2018.
Wrapping it up.
Welcome to it. Open phones, as it always is. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Mark, you're back. You took, a week or so off there?
Yeah, it was Wednesday to Wednesday, yeah.
For a little Christmas vacation down in Florida?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wanted to get away from any possibility of a white Christmas.
Didn't happen.
No.
Didn't happen.
The day after, it was supposedly, it snowed somewhere the day after.
There was a little bit of ice yesterday, but that was, a couple days after.
I'm dreaming of car crashes for Christmas. Yeah, people down south who have really never seen snow think that snow is a problem to drive in. Snow's fine.
Yeah, snow's fine.
It's when the road gets icy. So the snow will hit the road. The road's, traps some heat because, well, that's what rock does. Mm-hmm. And then it melts, and then it gets a little colder, and then it all freezes up into a nice giant
into a death
slick.
Trap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's been a really busy last 24 hours here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We don't talk a whole lot about things that go on here in Keene, but this one's got national legs, I think. This story that broke over the last 24 to 48 hours is, I think, it hasn't caught on nationally yet. So this is probably the first. Yeah,
it's got a human interest element that is probably going to catch a little attention.
There's a few different ways that this could kind of catch fire. It's certainly getting passed around on social media amongst our circles and even beyond that. It's about a new restaurant that has yet to actually open its doors here in the beautiful little city of Keene, New Hampshire. It's the southwestern corner of New Hampshire. It's the county seat of Cheshire County. Population's about 20,000, maybe a little less when the college students aren't here. Maybe a little like 23,000.
They don't count. They don't vote anyway.
Yeah, but I think they count in the census.
Doesn't matter.
They normally take the census while the college.
You vote or you count, or you don't vote or you count. That's the choice.
Where to start here? So I happen to know who the owner of this particular business is. Longtime readers over at freekeene.com may recall that,
which is your blog.
I am one of the bloggers at Free Keene. Yes, I am the founder of the website. It's a blog that allows people who are both outside and inside the area to see some of the cool activist things that are going on here. Because for a long time there has been a migration of libertarian, voluntarist, anarchist, people who love freedom. Those kinds of people have been coming to New Hampshire, and Keene has always been a hot spot for some of the more visible activism out there. And some of the more successful activism that we've done in recent years has been to spread cryptocurrency around the local area. And a lady opened up a food truck a few years ago now at this point, and she began accepting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as payments. So that's probably where readers of freekeene.com first saw Isabel Rose, who's the lady who's now taken the money that she earned doing her food truck very successfully, and she's ready to invest in the big league. She wants to go in and open up her own restaurant right in the heart of downtown. She's a Vietnamese lady, and her
Vietnamese food.
Right. Her food includes pho noodles, which is spelled P-H-O.
Right.
But it's
a lot of people call them pho.
Right. It's pronounced pho, apparently, and I didn't, I wasn't raised Vietnamese. I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah, I mean, words become anglicized, too, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, there's a breakfast biscuit called a croissant, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we don't in America. If you call it a croissant, right? Like you're an a-hole. You're not. Now, if you're French and you're in the United States and you ask for a croissant, like that's completely acceptable. Yeah. But if you're, I don't know, from Bradenton, Florida, and you ask for a croissant, you are not cultured.
I don't think that makes you an a-hole. It's kind of cute.
No,
people are trying to be accurate.
Not accurate.
Well. You're saying croissant is not how they pronounce it in France?
Look,
I don't know. I'm not French.
Well, croissant would be pretty accurate.
Okay.
But just because an item or a service or a practice or some kind of product comes from another country doesn't mean that you should pronounce it like they do in that country. That is
doesn't mean you shouldn't either.
Yeah, well, you can do whatever you want, and people will think whatever they want to think about you. So I think that it's completely accurate to call the soup that this beef.
Pho?
Yeah, pho, soup, pho, or pho if you want to.
Pho.
Just understand that some people call it pho, some people call it pho.
Sure. So you actually introduced me to pho a long time ago, a few years back when we were traveling somewhere.
Because I actually am cultured.
Yeah, you are definitely much more than I am.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it because I like food, especially hot food. But yeah, it's really good. You can spice it up, and if you haven't had pho noodles, it's worth trying out if you ever come across it. It's usually in kind of bigger cities.
It's a delivery system for sriracha sauce in my life, but
there's usually some kind of meat in there, some kind of veggies, some kind of Asian veggies.
Yeah, it's sliced rare meat.
Well, there's
beef.
Chicken, there's beef, there's pork.
That's hoti of ga. In order to get it's not pho unless it's beef.
Unless it's beef.
I think it has to be the beef stock.
Okay. Well, they still call it pho, so whatever.
Sure. They'll call it whatever you want as long as you pay your $12, honky.
Yeah. And I'm more than happy to, because it's nice to see some ethnic cuisine in a town that is kind of like a small town, right? There's a few pizza places, a few Chinese food places, maybe one or two Indian food places, and this is the first Vietnamese food that's been in Keene in my time.
You haven't lived in Keene or haven't lived in a lot of places. Keene is one of the few places you've lived. This place, this little 25,000 population hamlet, has a lot of restaurants that punch well above their weight for this particular area.
Well,
and the reason is because it's a metro. There's no major cities anywhere near here, and it functions as a metro.
Yeah, well, that's a very nice thing to say, but there's still not a whole lot of choice as far as ethnic variety. So it's nice to see this happening. However, it has not happened yet because she hasn't opened the doors. The
iron fist of the state is coming down on this poor Vietnamese woman who wants to sell pho soup.
In this case, the state in the form of the people calling themselves the City of Keene and its new city manager, who, funny enough, is actually named Elizabeth Dragon.
Yeah,
Elizabeth
Dragon Lady.
A. Dragon. And so, you've got a situation where apparently Christmas Eve, Dragon, the new city manager, calls up Isabel, the owner of this new Vietnamese restaurant, which has yet to open its doors, and tells her that she's got an issue. She's got a couple issues. Number one, apparently Isabel put up a sign in the window that says "Coming soon," and then the name of the business there. And that's ostensibly a violation of the city's ridiculously restrictive and anti-business sign ordinances.
Right. And by the way, I've heard people say Keene isn't anti-business. Those Keene people don't know what they're talking about. I've talked to business owners in the surrounding vicinity, and whether they're in Keene or out of Keene, the reality is, I've definitely talked to a business owner who's like, I'd move to Keene because there's more people, but I don't want to have to deal with all the crap that comes down with living. And you know what? He works for the city.
Yeah, so he knows best.
Yes.
But that's not the only issue. Is the fact that this temporary signs inside the windows just sort of announcing, hey, there's a restaurant coming here soon. They claim that's a violation of the sign ordinances and further a violation of the lease. See, here's one of the catches. She's renting from the city. The location for this new business is right next door to City Hall. Yeah. So it's in the city-owned building and right in the heart of downtown Keene. Longtime listeners remember Central Square, the site of many protests of a variety of sort. This is right there. You can throw a little stone from Central Square and you're going to hit the windows of the new location of this new business, presuming they actually get to open the doors. And the other objection, Mark.
Well, the objection is to the name of the business.
Right. Now, the city manager is claiming that the business is, quote, offensive and not appropriate, unquote, and she wants to meet to discuss potential changes. Now, what is the name, the supposed offensive name of this business?
Well, it's a restaurant that sells pho.
Right, and it's not uncommon for pho restaurants to be named after the city in which they're located.
Not unreasonable at all. And it's
Pho Manchester,
Pho Keene, Nashville. And then they describe their soup. Great,
and they call it great. So 3 words: Pho, Keene, great. And
with a picture of an Asian woman holding some chopsticks, eating a bowl of soup.
Yeah, it's called a Hanoi bar, I guess.
Yeah, Hanoi bar.
So we'll tell you why is this stirring controversy, in case you haven't figured it out yet. There's more coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts at 855-450 free, and you can see the signage over at freekeene.com right now. It's Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Free Talk Live
is everything that you've spoken of about the government tonight has been in a negative connotation.
What is there to like about the federal government?
Tell me what's great about the United States federal government.
Protection. They protect us.
They've got a military that's 9 times the next closest military. That's not protection. I'm forced to pay for it.
The terrorists will tell you the reason why they're engaging in terrorist activities, if they are inside the United States, is because of what the U.S. government's military is doing. They're putting us in greater danger through their actions, sir.
When is the last time that you've watched someone else stab someone blatantly or blown themselves up?
That has nothing to do with the federal government.
An armed populace is what keeps a particular area safe, not soldiers.
Yeah, right.
Soldiers are all over the place in Venezuela.
Yeah. Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and it's the live Saturday edition of the program here. We're talking about controversy that has erupted in the little city of Keene, New Hampshire. No, it's not over the Bearcat this time. This time it's back to the piddly crap that you expect from government bureaucrats over trying to simply open up a brand new business and put significant money at risk trying to serve delicious pho noodle soup to the local area folks and visitors and such. We're talking about a new restaurant that has yet to open its doors because it's being hamstrung by city government bureaucracy. And this can apply anywhere, okay? This sort of story, if you've ever tried to open a business, you know exactly what we're talking about. You know the difficulties, the unnecessary roadblocks that are thrown up in your way by government bureaucrats. And in this case, it happens to be a particularly laughable claim on the government's part, and they really fell right into the trap on this one, because the name of the new business, which is called, and I'm going to say it slowly here, Pho, which is the pho noodle soup that will be served at this Vietnamese restaurant, Pho, Keene, the name of the town, and then Great. So that's the name of the restaurant that now the city manager is claiming is actually offensive and not appropriate. Well, wait a minute. It's December. It's about to be 2019. According to the owner of this restaurant, they signed a lease with the city government, because they're renting from the city in this case. It's right next to City Hall. They signed a lease back in April, which included the name of the restaurant. They also sent an email in February prior to the lease, getting things rolling, which also included the name of the restaurant. So it's not like the city government didn't know in advance of the lease signing or during the lease signing what this was going to be called. No objection whatsoever until all of a sudden Christmas Eve rolls around, and then the city manager herself decides to pick up the phone and try to intimidate this new business owner into stopping her plans, changing her plans, after she's already spent thousands of dollars renovating the space, spent thousands of dollars purchasing a new sign that they're going to hopefully be able to hang up outside. Now, the sign's not entirely finished yet because the sign maker heard about this controversy and he stopped work, just because he's worried that this is not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a reasonable concern.
So this is all, by the way, this hour on Free Talk Live brought to you by Bitcoin.com. If you are interested in learning about Bitcoin, I highly recommend you get over to Bitcoin.com, where they got the Bitcoin Academy that you can take. It's free. You just go through the Academy. Probably won't take you more than 10, 15 minutes, something like that, to learn the basics about Bitcoin, like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin. I highly recommend Bitcoin.com. Plus, it's the place where you can go to get your first or fraction of a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can get a little bit of a Bitcoin if you want. And there's a lot of great news over there at their news section. So check it out, please, over at Bitcoin.com.
Yeah, you can get wallets there. You can get Bitcoin. You can get whatever you need to get started. Bitcoin.com.
Most importantly, get the education first.
Yeah, that's important.
At Bitcoin.com. So will this new restaurant be taking Bitcoin? That's another question. Hopefully, they're going to be able to open their doors. Right now, they're expected to have some sort of a meeting to discuss the business name with the city manager. And it's an outrage, and people in town, I think, are on her side. The newspaper broke this news yesterday, and I was a little bummed about that, because I certainly could have broken the news. I knew about this, and I chose not to because, well, the owner asked me not to. She asked me to kind of embargo the story, basically, until after they had the meeting with the city manager, which, mind you, I considered that a mistake as far as strategy is concerned. Mm-hmm. I thought that it would be best to get the publicity beforehand.
Yeah, business owners are they're a conservative lot. Yeah. They're always, they don't want to ruffle feathers because it's their money on the line.
Sure.
When you're going in, when she's going into this meeting, she's going into the meeting with the city. The city has nothing to lose.
That's right. Well, because they've gotten almost a year's worth of rent already.
Well, yeah, right. And they have a lease and all that other stuff, right? So she can't get out of this. Plus the fact that anybody who's sitting across the table representing the city, none of their particular finances change. They're representing an entity which has the monopoly privilege to tax people out of their homes if they wish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're the king's men, as it were.
Yeah,
right?
It doesn't really matter to them.
They've got nothing. This isn't even a negotiation. A negotiation, pretty much, a fair negotiation occurs between two equal parties. This is not an equal party. Bring the state. Bring the town. Oh, you say there isn't a town? You represent the town? The town must be a fiction.
It is. It's an imaginary concept.
Yes.
A municipal corporation is what they call
Right.
cities.
So she's probably got a municipal corporation known as the Hanoi Bar or something like that.
No, that's not a municipal corporation.
I'm sorry. She's probably got a corporation of some sort.
Right. Municipal corporations are specifically governmental
my mistake.
entities.
So she's got a corporation, likely, that she represents, but she's funding that corporation. It's her money out of her pocket. So she's got everything to lose, and these people have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
This is the thing that stinks the worst about dealing with governments is you're dealing with these busybodies who have nothing to lose. They have no skin in the game.
Not only that, they also don't have any incentive to be nice because they know that they can get their money because they can just extract it from you by force. If you don't pay the property taxes, they'll just take your house from you and then put it up for what they call a tax sale. So they know they're going to get paid regardless of how nice they are, regardless of how nasty they are, regardless of how rude that they are, regardless of how slow that they are, regardless of how, just piss poor that they generally are at doing whatever it is that they do. They don't care about being excellent. They don't care about being frugal, and they don't care about you.
Say whatever you want to say about corporations, and I'll probably agree with you in part. But say whatever you want to say about those organizations. They have to ultimately serve their customers. And largely the customer is everybody. So they have to have a smile on their face and open up on time and do all these things. City doesn't have to do that.
Nope.
If enough people get upset at the city, they'll probably change whatever their practices are. But
that's the only thing you got is the fact of embarrassing these city bureaucrats so much that they actually back down on this particular issue. But that's not going to stop them in the future because most of the time when a business owner is harassed by the city, it doesn't end up blowing up into publicity. It doesn't end up being a story like this where it's got legs, it's funny, the name of the business is creative, it's cute, it's fun, and she looks good, the business owner looks good compared to the evil city. I mean, you could play this out in multiple businesses that are being attacked, but like you said, most of these business owners are conservative. They don't want to go up against the state. They don't want to go up against the city. The old axiom, you can't fight City Hall. To some extent, it's true. It's very hard to fight City Hall, and that's why I want to put as much support behind this lady as possible. I want people outside of this area to hear about this story. Number one, because there's some really cool T-shirts that you can get. I'm wearing one of them right now. It is emblazoned with the logo, the supposedly offensive name, Keene. Great. That's the name of the business. And so orders have actually been coming in since this story's gone a little viral on social media.
Right. This is the reason that this story could get national legs is because it is the name of the business is clever and the the logo is awesome.
And she's Asian, so she can play the race card here if she wants to. Right. There's no evidence necessarily that the city manager is a racist, but that doesn't mean you can't play the race card.
That's not how the race card works.
Right.
I'm sorry. Once the race card's played, you're a racist.
Right.
Dun-dun! Dragon Lady's a racist. Blam. Just like that. That's how it's done.
And it's just so funny that her name's Dragon. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. And I can go through a list of fun names that just could not be made up that are real here in the area as far as government bureaucrats. Coming up, Free Talk Live.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today and save $10 on the Bug Beam Laser Combo, only at bugassault.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, live Saturday edition of the program. You can take control of the airwaves here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about ridiculous government regulations that this could happen anywhere. It can happen to you. And if you've ever tried to open a business, it probably has. A bunch of stupid requirements, arbitrary rules being forced down your throat by a bunch of strangers calling themselves the city of fill in the blank, wherever it is you happen to be. In this case, it happens to be the city of Keene, New Hampshire, that has predictably targeted a business that was planning to open its doors in downtown Keene inside of a city building. Now, I think that's one of the negatives against the business, was that they entered into a lease agreement with the city, which is different than just being regulated by them. I mean, it's bad enough to be regulated by them. Imagine them being your landlord. I can't even imagine how much worse that's going to make matters. But regardless, freedom of speech should still be respected by a city government, even in a lease agreement. And this particular speech, the name of the business, city managers claiming is, quote, offensive and not appropriate. We'll get back into the story here. You, of course, can bring up whatever's on your mind. We got Gene, the Christian anarchist, with us on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Go ahead, Gene.
Hey, guys. Next week I'll call you from China.
All righty.
Right now, I tend to be a skeptic. I've been a skeptic for a long time because I noticed when I was a rather young man, I noticed that when I checked on things, people were lying to me a lot of the time. And that seemed to happen whether it was the scientific community or whether it was politicians, of course. So I called you once before about running the numbers on fossil fuels, where I took and burned up all the fossil fuels in a hypothetical situation in 1 second and saw how much of an impact that made to our atmosphere. It really wasn't a very big impact. So I got to thinking about this wall because everybody's squawking about the wall. And Trump's saying he can do that thing for somewhere between 8 and 12 billion or trillion, 8 to 12 trillion dollars.
No.
Trillion? No.
Can't be.
He's asking for 5, I think, right now. 5 billion.
Billion.
5 billion?
Yeah.
Okay. So then my numbers would be off by a bit because I ran the numbers about how much that would save, how much that's going to cost per person that they could stop from going across the border, because the best I could find is estimates of about 600,000 per year illegals coming into the country.
Yeah, but what about the ones that are leaving? I mean, I don't even know that that there's any evidence at this point that there's a net increase of immigration through the border. I know at one point or another people were sneaking out because they couldn't get jobs.
Yeah. There are a lot leaving. So, but you got to go by some kind of estimate because nobody's got the actual numbers. But even if you figured 600,000 per year and then figured the cost of that wall, the cost per person that it's going to stop is astronomical. I mean, it's just ridiculously expensive. And whatever they say they're going to build the wall for, it's going to be at least double that and maybe 3 times that. And more than likely, they're never even going to finish the darn thing.
Further, what's the evidence they're even going to stop people? I mean, there may be the people who are stopped by the idea that they don't want to come to a police state. So they're just not interested in coming here at all anyway. But as far as the people who want to come here, there's always going to be ways to get over or under or around the wall or through it. You can bribe some Border Patrol agents if you're a coyote. You can just pay them off and have them look the other way. You can have a tunnel built underneath. There are multiple tunnels.
There are tunnels
running drugs. You can just
airplanes, boats.
Run people through those tunnels. And so, I just don't buy the idea that this is really going to impact much beyond getting some politicians some brownie points with their base.
Yeah, they had used an ultralight airplane to land some people across the border one day. I read a story about that. And then as the Border Patrol came, the plane took off and headed back to Mexico, but they managed to stop 3 people on this, that had been 2 people were brought in illegally. 1 person was apparently there to give them a ride, So the wall isn't going to stop it.
Nope.
It's just going to make things, and there's always the end of the wall. The wall's going to have 2 ends, one on the east and one on the west.
Ocean.
They're talking about this metal slat wall.
Fence.
Yeah, and I don't know that much about metal slat walls.
Because Trump says you have to be able to see through the wall in case somebody chucks a bag of drugs over. You don't want to get hit by
It's a good idea to be able to see through. Yeah. I would agree. However, there are such things as angle grinders, and they'll cut right through metal. Now, I don't know if you've got a power source out there. Perhaps you would have to get battery-powered angle grinders. Maybe you'll need
a generator.
Maybe you need a generator. Maybe you need an extra, couple of batteries. I don't know what you'll need, but if this is
getting a settling torch.
This thing's got to be 2,500 miles long. It's not like
you can't monitor the whole thing.
You can't have somebody there all the time. Middle of the night, one of the slats falls down, a bunch of people run through. now you got a slat to fix.
Yeah, and both ends of it will, like you say, dump into the ocean. You can just take a boat or swim around the outside of it. If you're a really good swimmer, just go out there and swim. So it's really absurd that they want to put this kind of money into a wall. It'd be one thing if they just wanted to run a little string of a tape down there to show where the border is, but no, they want to build this big, expensive wall.
Well, there's somebody who's got some buddies in construction that are salivating over this.
Sure, this is a great deal if you work in the construction and you get the contract for the wall. But what this is just another bloated government program,
huge boondoggle,
that's going to fail and likely result in the, it will certainly result in something other than what was expected, and likely result in something close to the opposite.
Yeah, and then, of course, you guys are right there by the Canadian border. You see, there's places along the Canadian border where it's nothing more than a marking post every so many feet that says, here's the border. And you can literally just step right across the border.
You sure can. I've been to Derby Line, Vermont. I've seen what it's like there. There's a video that I made of the visit that we made to Derby Line. That's the town that's literally divided by the border. That used to be just people could cross easily without having to ask anybody's permission. Now there's a huge crackdown. There's Border Patrol constantly running through the streets. There's driving everywhere which way. They've got cameras all over the place, but you can still just walk across the border if you wanted to. You could just run across. You could drive across.
The tiny hamlet of Derby Line, Vermont is absolutely a megalopolis compared to the majority of the Canadian border with the United States, which is just forest.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they can do to stop you from jumping back and forth across the line in middle of the woods.
Gene,
I've often thought I'd like to go up there sometime to that spot and just jump back and forth across the border a few dozen times just to say I did it.
Just to say you could. Yep.
Yeah.
Gene, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. That's Gene, the Christian anarchist there. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE.
How did this country survive decades, close to centuries, with just a porous border where people crossed and recrossed throughout the year, throughout the months, throughout the days in order to just do some work and then go home?
Well, not only did it survive, it thrived because those people didn't get stopped by bureaucracy getting in their way, slowing them down and making it less desirable to do business. That very town, Derby Line, Vermont, is a dead town at this point because they can't easily just crisscross the border and you want to go to lunch over on the other side? Sorry, you got to go through the border patrol first on the Canadian side. They're nice enough, but they're still getting in the way, making it more difficult to...
Sure, if you want to grab a quick sandwich, you're not going to do it across the border.
Yeah, and it's an interesting video. I recommend if you check it out, you can go on YouTube and search for Derby Line, maybe Free Keene, and then I think that video will come out. It's about 25 minutes, a short documentary to show you kind of what it's like. We end up getting confronted by the Border Patrol. They didn't like that we were standing on a bridge looking at them, pointing a camera basically at their installation on I-91. They actually get in a car and just speed on up to us to try to intimidate us. And, of course, it didn't work. And it ended up being some pretty entertaining videos. So highly recommend.
But at this point, you're not allowed to go to Canada basically because of that, though.
Well, because I tried to cross into Canada and I have a couple of misdemeanors for civil disobedience on my record, and Canada did not want me there. So that's why I can't go to Canada. The number for you to join us here, it's 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Back when it was easy to immigrate into the United States, plenty of immigrants came over and they did things like open businesses. And back then, they didn't have to jump through a bunch of ridiculous government hoops, which, of course, stops things from happening today. We're coming up.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Pain in my neck, back, and shoulders has really gotten worse.
Relief for body pain is here with Sunny Bay heating pads.
Well, the last thing I want is to take another pill, so what's so good about Sunny Bay heating pads?
Sunny Bay heating pads, made by Biomed DB Design right here in the USA, come in all sizes. Our extra large microwavable heating pad for back pain is designed to be large enough to cover your entire back. It's also perfect to wrap around your legs, knees, or shoulder and neck.
But I need to know they're good quality.
Of course, Sunny Bay heating pads and pillows are often an Amazon choice, and it's easy and most affordable when you purchase your Sunny Bay heating pads right from our website, sunshinepillows.com, or call us 253-678-1361.
Hey, a Sunny Bay heating pad
would make a great gift, right?
Yes, and they start at just $19.99 and free shipping is available. So call 253-678-1361 or shop for your Sunny Bay heating pad at sunshinepillows.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of
where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free. Join us here, whether it's ridiculous business regulations that end up, in this case, being pretty laughable on the part of the city that's going up against a creatively named pho noodle restaurant. We can tell you about that a little bit more on the way here. Ian and Mark in the studio on this live Saturday show. The toll-free number for you to join us here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And inevitably, somebody brought up the immigration issue, so of course people want to talk about that.
It isn't Free Talk Live unless we talk about immigration, for God's sake.
At least on Saturday nights. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. Let's start up with Sue, listening to WIBC-FM in Indianapolis. Hey, Sue.
Hi there. How are you guys tonight?
Good. You're on the air.
Okay. Well, I want to make a point about being in the classroom with immigrants who can't speak English.
Are you a teacher?
I'm now a retired teacher, but when I retired, I was in a school that was pretty much 95% illegals, and they couldn't speak English, and I could not do my job. I had to pantomime.
Sounds like a failure of government.
Well,
was it a government school?
It was, yeah. Well, basically, it's a city school. Yeah.
Yeah, run by the government.
And so when you guys talk about not wanting a wall, you know, the kids that spoke English and were from those neighborhoods, they all left because when the illegals would move in, the whole neighborhood would get run down and there was crime. And so the people who were in those neighborhood schools left. And so what was remaining was the illegals who couldn't support themselves and who were living on welfare. And yeah, by the way, all those free lunches that come out of my paycheck and your paycheck, of course, too. You know, the free lunches, the free books, and now we're feeding them in the summertime too when they're not even in school. You know, I know you don't agree with me, but we need the wall.
I think I do. I don't believe...
You don't agree with the wall.
I don't believe... I don't think there should be a wall. I don't think it'll solve the problem. But I don't believe that you or me or anyone should be responsible for paying for the education or the medical care or the anything that has to do, frankly, with anyone that's not in their family. However, I'll go ahead and we'll talk about people who come to this country. I don't think that you should have to pay for those things regarding an immigrant. I simply believe that they should be able to come here, work hard, and build a better life for themselves, as my ancestors and your ancestors did. But I don't think you should have to pay for a thing. No.
Well, if they're going to come illegally, though, that's what's going to happen.
Oh, that's true. The government's messed up. You just enumerated the ways that government school causes people to leave a particular neighborhood because they're no longer getting serviced by the school itself. Many people live in a neighborhood because of the school. It's one of the first questions that real estate agents answer. And when the school can no longer service the students, it doesn't surprise me at all that somebody says, I'll just sign a lease over at this other place and I'll go get a better school. Yep, you're right. Government destroys neighborhoods with its stupid rules.
Right, and government destroys education with its stupid rules as well, forcing people into the same classroom with one another that may not actually want to be together in the same classroom.
Or even have the right classroom. I mean, if they can't speak English, they shouldn't be in the same classroom.
Or in Sue's case, she can't even teach to these students. So again, what you're describing here are failures of the government across the board that's created such frustration in you that you are actually demanding more government. So you're asking for more of the same group of people that ruined all of the other things you're talking about. You want them to create a police state? You really want that?
Absolutely not. But my
what do you think you're going to get?
Jumped into the station a little while ago. So if we don't build a wall, how do we regulate immigration?
At this point, ultimately, I don't think there's a particular reason to, bother regulating immigration. What you need to regulate are the government programs. So if there was no free school for people who came here from other countries, there was no free medical care, no free anything. There wasn't this welfare that you referred to, the meals and all that other stuff.
We cut out everybody from that too, like no free anything for anybody from
fine
the government?
By me, but if you stop those programs, you'll probably have people that if people are coming here, if you put out a bowl of cat food every morning, all right, and you can't complain that there's cats that come to your door and get cat food. That would be only an insane person would do that. That's what we do in this country. We put out free cat food, and they're like, my God, why do these cats keep coming? I don't want cats that come here and eat my free cat food. I'm looking for working class dogs to come here and do some good. I want them to get to work and build a better country, which is how this country was made great. It's the government welfare programs, the welfare warfare state that frankly has drugged this nation down into the mire.
That is true. And when these kids throw away the food that you and I are providing for them, and I think, and I see something that is perfectly good go into the trash can. So, oh, by the way, I'm hungry. Maybe I'll take that carton of milk out of the trash that's not been opened.
It's frustrating.
Guess what? They come and write me up and charge me double for it, or they write me up and put it in my file because I've taken something out of the trash. Yeah, it really is messed up.
Yep. Sue, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. You're not going to solve the problems that government has created, which is the welfare state that you're describing, Mark, with more government.
Nobody
with another
knows
government program.
The waste of government like government employees.
Yeah.
Nobody knows it.
If they're honest with you.
Yeah, well, they largely are.
Well, not when they're working for the government. Usually they lie to you, but depends who you talk to.
When they're behind the desk. I'm talking about when they're just behind the telephone.
In this case, this lady was being honest, so I appreciate that. It's frustrating. When you look at all the problems with the government, because nobody's going to propose what you're talking about. No Republican, no Democrat.
That in and of itself is the mystery to me. Where I'm a Republican, right? My party, largely the people in my party, think it's a good idea to add more government bureaucracy by building the wall and beefing up border security and doing whatever. Don't forget the raids on businesses and
straight up police state.
Blah 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 blah. None of them.
Show us your papers.
They all throw their hands up. You say, well, get rid of the welfare for immigrants, and you won't have the problem with the immigrants that you don't want. You claim
we can't get rid of welfare.
Right? They throw their hands up like they know that it's easy to grow the state. They know it's hard to shrink the state. The party of small government won't even talk about shrinking the state anymore.
Well, I mean, remember during the Bush administration when one of the guys, I think it was Trent Lott was his name, he claimed that they'd cut government down to the bone. They couldn't cut it back any further.
Right. You know, it had been 4 years since the Clinton administration where the government was bloated and the budget was balanced. And then under the Republicans, the government was bigger, significantly bigger. I think at that point it was 40-something% larger than it was under the Clinton administration. And this weasel has the temerity to say, well, that's it. We've cut the government. This is it. This is what efficient government looks like. Come on. God, the only people that are worse about growing the government than the Democrats, in my opinion, are the Republicans.
Let's go to Jose. He's in Dover, Delaware, listening to WDOV. Go ahead, Jose. Hello? Jose in Dover. Going once. Jose in Dover, going twice. We're putting him back on hold. Maybe he's in a bad cell or something like that. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, it's 855-450, free like freedom. As we continue, we got Bad Slave on the line in New Hampshire. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live. Something is definitely screwy. I think there's maybe a problem with our board operator there. I don't know what's going on. We're picking up the lines. 2 lines. Neither caller there. There's probably some button that accidentally got pressed or whatever. So we'll continue and take more of your calls coming up here in hour number 2 after we iron out whatever the issues are. This is an issue that continues to come up because people are rightfully frustrated with the status quo. They see the problems. It's easy to see the other problems.
The other thing to address, besides just eliminate welfare for immigrants, is also you have to address the voting thing. Democrats want immigration because they want more Democrats. And Republicans know that. Now, Republicans have truly stepped in the poo when it comes to immigration. It didn't used to be that way prior to 9/11. The Mexicans in Texas voted George Bush in as governor, and then they voted him in as president. There wasn't an issue. Mexican immigrants and Central American immigrants were not always Democrats.
Catholic conservatives, I imagine.
They're Catholic conservatives, as a matter of fact. And, but that now with, the everything has become politicized, well, immigration has too. So people who face immigration rules on the regular basis had to pick a side. So I think you also need to basically make it that people who come here get some kind of visa to work, but no opportunity to vote.
All right, there's more on the way. You can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Of course, the best solution would be to abolish the federal government entirely and let the 50 different states come up with 50 different solutions.
It should just be a military operation, but even so, it would be wasteful if it did that.
All right, we got more on the way. Hour 2 next. Toll-free number if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years. From My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, December 29th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.39 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,281 per ounce. Zen is trading at $6, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,908. Antiwar.com reports some early reports suggested that the U.S. could be out of Syria within 30 days, but when Defense Secretary James Mattis signed the order last week, there was no timetable attached. Now, U.S. officials say that the full withdrawal could take several months. This is based on the most recent set of plans based on President Trump's call for a deliberate and orderly withdrawal of U.S. forces. Several months is a long time, however, and may not be in keeping with the priority of getting out of the country before the Turkish invasion. Moreover, it's already been confirmed that the U.S. is coordinating its withdrawal with the Turkish government in keeping with its planned military operations. While Turkey has not made any specific timetable for its invasion either, it has been suggested to begin much sooner than several months from now, which may point to ongoing negotiations. There is no official publicly available figure for the number of U.S. troops in Syria, but estimates are around 2,000. The withdrawal of 2,000 troops, particularly when they are also close to Iraq, another nation with a U.S. military presence, seems like it could have been faster, and any long delays are likely to be deliberate and not a question of logistical issues. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports up against a deadline to find a way out of its bankruptcy. Sears announced plans on Friday to close 80 more stores in March. Sears officials told employees it will begin liquidation sales at 43 Sears and 37 Kmart stores in 2 weeks. Sears chairman Eddie Lampert proposed to buy the company as a whole through his hedge fund, ESL Investments. He has propped up the company with funding for several years. CNBC reported Eddie Lampert submitted a $4.4 billion bid in an effort to buy the retailer and keep it alive, adding that the offer came just in time to meet the 4 p.m. deadline. Last week, a bankruptcy court allowed Sears Holding to sell its home improvement services business to Service.com for $60 million. The store, once a shopping mall mainstay, has slowly declined in recent years and was slow to respond to the trend in online shopping. It filed for bankruptcy in October with about 700 stores still open, but plans to close 142 unprofitable locations. The closure of another 40 stores was announced in November. If Lampert secures a bid, it would save all of Sears' remaining assets, but some creditors have said they would prefer to liquidate the company. Experts say most of the already closed stores will likely face demolition because of difficulty in finding new tenants to utilize stores of that size, typically 10,000 square feet or more. In 1999, Daryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic. Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Daryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. Reuters reports New York City police will use an aerial drone for the first time to monitor crowds gathered in Times Square on Monday for the New Year's Eve ball drop celebrations, according to officials on Friday, adding that there is no known threat to the night's festivities. The camera-carrying drone will be tethered to the roof of a building and will not fly directly over the hundreds of thousands of revelers in the area, but it will add an additional vantage point alongside the 1,225 fixed video cameras that police will deploy. Using counter-drone technology, the New York Police Department will also also work with federal agents to thwart any civilians attempting to fly their own drones through Manhattan's canyons as 2019 dawns. The security plan includes closing off blocks around Times Square to traffic and deploying thousands of police officers, uniformed and plainclothed, in the crossroads and surrounding streets. Crews have even sealed shut manholes to prevent sewers from being used as a means to bypass security checkpoints. Police have also taken special precautions at high-rise hotels around Times Square, aiming to prevent any would-be attacker from using a hotel room as a sniper's nest. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
According to a report released today, the vast majority of American children lack the presence of a strong, sculpted male supermodel, with less than 4% of youngsters being taught the important values of respecting runway etiquette, maintaining a glistening six-pack, and walking a catwalk with verve and flair.
The number of strong-jawed male supermodels in children's lives has declined to record lows, leaving the majority of our youth unaware of how to get comfortable in front of the camera during an underwear shoot, or even perform something as simple as a sexy but stylish full turn.
Stanton went on to say that impoverished communities were especially affected by the lack of Adonis-like male figures, and added that children in lower-class homes were over 80% less likely to grow into the type of high-cheekboned, studly he-men that succeed in haute couture society.
Quite frankly, these children are just not getting the necessary influence of a dynamic male supermodel who can both make puppy dog eyes at the camera and also radiate that sort of raw, unabashed machismo that forces fashionistas to look up and take notice.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We are launching into the second hour of this live Saturday edition of the program. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Don't forget, we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. Jump into one of those rooms there at the top. There's 4 of them. Pick whichever one you want. And we'll join you in there when we see you. And you will be on the air with us and sound almost like you're sitting in the studio with us here. We're going to go back to the phones. Our board op says they should be working properly now. And so we're going to try out Jose in Dover, Delaware, listening to WDOV. Jose, are you with us now?
Yeah. Can
Excellent.
you hear me?
We have you now. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
Couple points. A couple of callers ago talked about running the numbers on the cost of the border wall. And so that was my first point. He's talking about how expensive it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I ran the numbers, and they're, they might not be the most accurate, but even if they're pretty far off, the cost of $5 billion for, portion of the barriers, the border wall, fence, whatever it's going to be called, is less than 0.2% of the federal budget.
Okay.
That's peanuts. Okay, second point.
Well, let me address that for a second. I recommend that we cut the federal budget by 10%, like just to start. Let's start that out. Like
I recommend we cut it by 100%.
This organization that is known for its inefficiency could probably cut out 10% of its pay without really taking any kind of real hit. So it's $1 billion here and $1 billion there, and pretty soon you're talking about real money. And right. Yeah, I get how the government spends money hand over fist, but that doesn't make spending more money okay.
Yep.
Well, what about the other cost, Jose? What about the cost to freedom?
Okay, well, we can get into that, but I wanted to get to my second point.
Go ahead.
All right.
Second point was, I think there was a discussion about how ineffective the wall would be. Mm-hmm. Wall, fence, whatever, barrier.
Yep.
Although I've heard statistics of many countries and a handful of cities here in the United States, San Diego, one of them, I think maybe Yuma, maybe El Paso, where when there was barriers put in place, illegal immigration at those locations was curtailed by upwards of 80%, 90%. of what it was prior to.
It
those
probably
barriers
sent the
being directed.
illegal immigration to someplace
Somewhere
else,
else.
right, where the wall wasn't. But let's talk about that for a second. So what you're talking about is a prohibition on the movement of labor across a given line in the sand, right? And prohibitions, we've seen over and over again, tend not to work. So you may be able to hire a huge police force and stop.
No, there's
Hold on.
I'm not talking about prohibition.
Oh, it's a freaking prohibition. If I want to cross that border and the border guard doesn't want to let me, he is prohibiting me from crossing. It's a prohibition.
If you do it legally.
Oh, God.
Here
For
we
God's
go.
sakes. Look, man, you know as well as I do, Jose, that that climbing that mountain of paperwork is...
do you think that was respectful?
What, Jose?
Yeah, exactly. That's
I don't know what's going on. Your audio's ducking out
Jose,
from
something's
your phone.
happening to your phone.
I don't know if you're
no,
getting...
it's not. I can hear you perfectly fine.
Well,
Fine.
we can't hear you fine,
Buddy,
so
I
sorry.
can't hear you.
Yeah, put him on hold, Mark. Were you making a point? Or
All I'm saying is it's a heck of a lot easier to cross the Rio Grande at some point than to climb some huge mountain of paperwork. When you make it very difficult for some poor person who's going to come here and mow grass and wash dishes for a living to...
you know what? If somebody comes...
yeah, I don't know what's going on, dude. I don't know if you're on like a headset or something like that, but like as soon as you say the first two words of a sentence...
Yeah, I think maybe you're
All right,
it's a
we can't hear you,
conspiracy.
brother. You're gone. Toll-free number is 855-4... I tried.
I know.
I tried to explain it to him, but he didn't want to believe me. Look, man, we get calls like yours all the time. We're not trying to shut you down or whatever. We've heard all the points before. We know, how to answer these things. And my question for you, which you didn't answer, was what about the cost of freedom? The cost of all the rest of us. Because that's what the lady wasn't really calculating earlier. When I asked her, does she want a police state? She said no. She didn't want a police state. She wanted a wall, thought that she could somehow get a wall without having a police state come along with it. Sorry. I'm sorry to bear the bad news here, but if you're going to increase the size and the scope of the federal government to increase to the point where there's a ridiculous wall, which always is going to come along with some sort of concomitant increase in border patrol and more bureaucracy and more checkpoints and things like that, because just because you build the wall doesn't mean they're going to stop running checkpoints inside the United States.
Right. Let's point out those checkpoints. There was a period in time not too long ago that the second most popular country for illegal immigrants to come from was China. You can't build a wall as effective as the Pacific Ocean, and the illegal immigrants were still coming from China.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't tell me that a barrier is going to make that big of a difference. Yeah, I think that it'll change the scenario. Obviously, only a fool would say otherwise. But
sure, prohibition of alcohol changed how alcohol was distributed. It was still distributed.
Yep. I mean, it's just another government boondoggle.
Sold in speakeasies and poured into coffee cups.
Right. Here's the difference. Republicans hate government programs and they hate bureaucrats unless those bureaucrats carry guns or hoses, at which point
then they salute them.
Everything that they do is pure, just, honest, and good. Well, no, it's not.
So you can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Let's go to Craig. He's in Texas, listening online. Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, Ian. Hey, this is the Craig I'm down here for the winter.
Hey, Craig. This is Craig from our beautiful Keene, New Hampshire.
That's right. Craig Dow's right. Hey, listen, man. This whole controversy about the the fucking great.
Oh, you can't say it that quickly on the air. I'm gonna have to hit the the dump button. Where we got to be careful, Craig. Normally, I would drop your call entirely, but I'm going to ask you to be very, very careful with how you say the name of the business. Put some space in between the three words.
Why don't you call it the restaurant? We'll say the name.
Just call it the
Faux
right.
Keene Great.
Yeah, just call it the restaurant for right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because we're on the radio,
well,
we can't make.
I guess I can go ahead and say some of the other things that I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say, like when you're a kid in school, don't get nervous, okay? Let's say they call out some girl's name, like maybe her last name is Hoar, okay, like Hoar,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, is the teacher going to like ban that name because the kids laugh at it or snicker at it? I mean, or let me give you another example. You know, like somebody's name is Richard Head, and you know, I mean,
believe it or not, this is one of the things I wanted to point out. That is actually the name of the New Hampshire Attorney General, not the current one, but one of the previous ones within the last decade.
And he went by the nickname Dick.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah. Right.
But yes, I see what you're saying there, Craig. That,
right, and it's silly, right? I mean, there's just I at one point knew a man named PHUCBOI.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it because it was pronounced exactly as you can imagine.
Oh, okay.
And ironically, you knew him in prison, right?
I did. Sadly, that man was in prison with the last name. Yeah, I'm not going to say it.
You spelled it already. It's okay. We don't need to keep doing that.
Oh man, So that's that's what we're dealing here with is that the city of Keene basically. I mean, I don't know if they've called in to speak for themselves.
Oh hell no, they're not going to call this show.
They'd be fools.
They have nothing to say. Anything they say publicly is just going to make them look worse. For those just tuning in, you're referring to a conversation we started in the last hour over a business, and you happen to know the owner of this business as well. We know who you are, Craig Dallas Rice from the area here. A great busker from the streets of downtown Keene, and the business name Keene. Great. Very, very creative, very cute, very fun.
But they sell pho soup.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the government bureaucrats, specifically the new city manager, who ironically is named Elizabeth Dragon, is not happy about this, calling the name, quote, offensive and not appropriate. Craig, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate your thoughts and appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And it brings up the issues that so many business owners have with government bureaucrats standing in the way with their arbitrary rules and their demands, and it's frustrating. Very frustrating. More coming up.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live dial, toll free to bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Whether it's immigration or ridiculous government business restrictions, which is where we started the show tonight. You can talk about either of those things or whatever it is that's on your mind. You can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And Free Talk Live is brought to you by AnyPay.global. If you've been thinking about taking cryptocurrency, accepting it at your business, at the point of sale, over at the cash register, then there's a great little app that lets you do it and lets you do it for no cost to you as a business. It's no cost to receive cryptocurrency payments through AnyPay.global. Just go there. You can get signed up on the website, or if you've got an Android device at your register, just go right ahead and download the AnyPay Take Crypto app. And you can register right through that app. Now, as far as Apple users go, we're still waiting on Apple to get through whatever approval process they have to get through to get their app out. But if you're on Apple, you can still use AnyPay. You just have to set it up through your web browser, and that's easy enough to do. So get started over at AnyPay.global, and then within minutes, you're accepting Dash, you're accepting Bitcoin, BTC, you're accepting Zcash, Zen, and others. It's up to you which ones you want to take over at AnyPay.global. As we continue here, we were talking at the very beginning of the show about a new business that has yet to open its doors here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, but it's opening up to a lot of controversy. Well, actually, it seems like only the city manager's really the only one who's upset here. If you look at the comments on the various different stories, the couple of different stories that have been published so far about this, the comments are probably 99-1. People are very much in favor of this new business opening up, unmolested by the government. But the city manager's saying that the business name is, quote, offensive and not appropriate, and she wants to have a meeting to discuss potential changes. Now, the funny thing is, this is after months of this business paying rent to the city, because it's the city's property that they're renting for the restaurant space. In fact, it's right next door to City Hall. They entered into an agreement back in April of this year. So the
city did.
Yeah. It's been most of the year with this supposedly controversial or, quote, offensive business name. The name of the business, it's a pho noodle soup business, Vietnamese food. It's called Pho. Keene is the name of the town, and then Great. And it's a cute, fun name, and anybody with a sense of humor can appreciate this, and clearly the city manager just doesn't have one. So it's a ridiculous situation, and right now it's been an interesting day because there are T-shirts that the owner of the business made up to promote their business. They made some signs as well. They were told they weren't allowed to put the signs up in their windows, but they can't be told they can't sell shirts. And at this point, they are selling those shirts online. You can go to freekeene.com. You can see what they look like. Orders have come in already for these shirts, Mark, from as far away as Afghanistan. Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
And also San Francisco. Like people all around the planet are paying attention to this story, and I think it's got legs. That's why I wanted to talk about it tonight, because it's ridiculous, and you need to know about it, and you can check it out. The full story is over at freekeene.com, including photos of the shirts and what the sign looked like in the windows, and links to where you can order those shirts. I don't know if there's going to be another batch. I know that we want another batch to be made. I know Chris, who's our Thursday night co-host here, who works down at Route 101 Local Goods, which is the exclusive distributor of these shirts at the moment. I know he wants to get another batch made, but ultimately it's going to be up to one of the partners in the business. And so we're crossing our fingers, but this may be the only batch available at this point. So maybe quite a collector's item. Anyway, check it out at freekeene.com. Let's go to the phones. To the fun, we got Bad Slave. Hopefully you can hear us, or we can hear you now. Bad Slave, are you there?
I hope so.
We have you
Can
now.
you hear me?
Yes, we have you now. Now remember, if you're going to talk about the restaurant, better to just refer to it as the restaurant, or if you must, take some time between saying the words. Go ahead.
To make a good gap there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The interesting thing is there's not in Merrimack, where I'm sitting at the moment. There's a couple of miles away from me a wonderful little cupcake restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the cupcake restaurant is Bite Me.
That's cute.
And and it's in a pink building that they're doing a great business. They serve a decent breakfast and lunch there, and and they got cupcakes, and they're gluten free, and it's a really great little. Debbie is the name of the woman that runs the place. It's fabulous, and she's just a regular busineswoman. She's but I mean, it's just.
Did she run up against any controversy when she opened the business?
I never asked her. I didn't. Mm-hmm. It never occurred to me to even consider it. I mean, this whole PC crap is terrible for everything. I just am blown away. I just ordered 3 XXL on T-shirts.
Wow! You'll be happy with your purchase.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure to make some trips out to Keene to make to walk around with those shirts on, just to give Mrs. Dragon a.
Go to City Hall, ask for some directions.
Right.
Yeah. I hope she holds, steady. And I think it would probably be good. I think you can pull up pictures off the web of Bite Me cupcakes. And I think that's a perfect counter to this woman who has no business in government, no sense of humor.
This is the highest. The city manager is the highest level government position in the city of Keene. So she's not just some flunky that's the health code inspector or whatever. She's in charge of the entire city government. They moved her here. They paid her a big salary. They're paying her a huge salary. I think it's close to $200,000 a year to do this job. And she's come into the town like she's got something to prove. And she's not just messing with this one business, but this one happens to be the story that that has some legs on it. Bad Slave, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate it. In fact, there's a lot of really creative and potentially offensive business names out there that have been able to do business, and some of them have even turned into franchises. I forget what Chris Reitman was telling me. There's some franchise with a rooster for its image and some kind of phallic kind of name. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is, but it was hilarious, and I'll see if I can find out what it was.
Franchise?
For you. Yeah, I was surprised because it seemed so
restaurant?
offensive. Yeah, that it was like, wow, that's actually a franchise.
Yeah,
okay.
The language can be played with in lots of ways, and people are gonna, when you prohibit particular language, then people are gonna want to play with that language and see whatever. And can we get some people all flutter about this particular terminology, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't make a big deal about it, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Correct. They could have just let this business open, but instead They walked right into the trap.
Right. And I remember the controversy. I was a kid. It was probably 12 years old or something. So this was probably happening in the early 80s. There were these S Happens bumper stickers.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was like around the rest of America, but down south, it was making the cops nuts. Somebody dared to write the S word on a bumper sticker and put it on their car. And
were they pulling people over?
Yes.
Wow.
It was a big deal.
Ridiculous. All right, so more coming up. You can share your thoughts with us, whether it's ridiculous government bureaucracy or immigration. You can take control of the airwaves here. It's Free Talk Live.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10 years shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com. Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the purest for you and your family. For over 14 years, thousands have depended on Berkey Clean Water. The Berkey guy has you covered at home, work, and on the go. With water filtration systems of every size for every budget. Now GCN listeners receive 10% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN at GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. I did find out the name of the business I said was associated with a large rooster that Chris Reitman had told me about, because we were talking about potentially offensive business names. There's a local business here that has yet to open its doors that's in some hot water with the city government, who's claiming that it's got an offensive name. Well, how about Big Peckers? The business name is Big Peckers, and it's got a rooster right next to that on the sign.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
Well, clearly they're talking about roosters.
Just some funny names out there. If you've got one that you can say on the radio, just remember, when in doubt, leave it out. But if you've got one you can share with us, please feel free to call in with that. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. You can bring up anything that you want here on Free Talk Live. That's how we do things. In fact, let's go back to the phones and to the fun. We've got, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Byron?
Yeah, that's me.
Byron on the line listening to WIBC.
Right.
Yes. You're on the air.
As far as the restaurant name,
yeah,
that's a name conceived in the spirit of debauchery, and in fact, it insults intimacy. Now, you know, if you like bad neighborhoods, you like a bad moral spirit floating through the community, and this, that, and the
Wait a
other.
minute. Are you saying, just to be clear, which name we're talking about? Are you saying that Big
you know
Pecker?
Which name I'm talking about? Right? No.
Or are you saying that Fa?
All
Keene,
of them are.
great.
All of these double-meaning, sexually, you know.
That has nothing to do with sex. I'm sorry. I don't know where your mind is, but
I'll tell you where my mind is if you'll listen.
Yeah.
They're in a spirit of debauchery, of decadence.
Do you think it's a demon?
Hey, you know what? I've seen a demon in a woman's face before, and it's a real demon. You are not aware of what's surrounding you. Now listen, and I also heard the Lord's voice.
How did you know, Mark?
Oh, well, I knew this was coming. I mean, when he's talking about a spirit of debauchery.
Laugh it off.
Yes, I'm going to laugh it off.
Hilarious.
You're talking about.
Okay, you'll see.
You're in
You'll see, my friend.
2019 is coming right around the
Listen to
corner.
this. How about the scripture says, whining and gnashing of teeth? You know what that means? That's the first time you're going to know the truth.
Are you
that will be the first time when the God Almighty that made this universe shows you just what you're about.
Yep. So I'm going to go to hell?
Yep, you are. Laugh it off. And you're going to be there. And the other thing about hell, you know what? It never stops getting worse. It never stops getting worse. And you
Does it
want
bring
to
you
get out of
pleasure
there
to
more
imagine
and
us
more
being in
for
hell?
Eternity.
Does that bring you pleasure to think about that?
Yes!
That's a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the book of David, it says, some will be raised to eternal life, and some will be raised to eternal contempt.
Does that
And you
include the people who get pleasure from the pain of
You're
others?
Contemptible. You are in contempt of decency and holiness. Do you have the word holy in your vocabulary?
I know what it means.
Like holy socks.
Yeah. All I can say is.
Holy sucks, right? You just said that to the Almighty.
Hey, look. All I can say is.
Wait. Did you just say you're the Almighty? Because we're talking to you, Byron. You're saying you're the Almighty?
You say it to the least of these. You're taking it to him.
I'm saying, don't twist it. You said holy sucks. God is
Socks.
holy, not me.
Socks, dude. Socks. You put them on and they've got holes in them. Mark, you had a question for Byron?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if fair and just God sends his children to burn for all eternity, for the rest.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
No,
he
doesn't.
If that child does not accept...
Byron,
besides,
real quick, Byron.
Genesis says there's a distinction between Eve's children and the serpent's children, right?
I'm not a child of a serpent because we know what childs of serpents come out of eggs.
You are the children of the serpent.
No, that's crazy Bronze Age bullcrap. Listen to me, Byron.
Okay, you'll see.
Byron, real quick, if you just keep talking through it, you're never going to get any further. No, don't put him on hold.
No, okay, well,
I want to talk to him.
Yammering. Go ahead,
Byron. Listen to me, Byron.
50 years left?
Byron, listen to me.
50 years. Think about it.
Byron, I don't care about your stinking weird ideas on God. I'm going to tell you something. You've got every opportunity.
When I was 11. What?
You've had every opportunity.
You listen. You understand what a conversation
Byron,
is.
shut up for a second.
I got to put him on hold, man.
He's
just not going to stop.
Look, man, if a fair and just God sends his children to burn for all eternity, That fair and just God isn't fair and just. He's likely the opposite. He's likely Satan.
No. Oh, you just called God Satan? Okay.
Look, I read the Bible all the way through 3 times. And
I read it 4 times.
Excellent. You're so good. All I can tell you is that that God from that book is more likely Satan than, in fact, anything else.
Oh, boy, I'm about to tell you what.
I'm sorry, man. If you want to see, you just said you wanted to see me burn in hell for all of eternity. The worst kind of torture. If I took my son, as every time he made a mistake, and I cut one of the knuckles off of his hand, cut a finger at a joint every time that was done, everybody would call me a psychopath for a very good reason. But for some reason, you give a pass to some deity that says he's going to make you burn in hell because you don't believe some old weird book. That's nuts.
We're free through Jesus' blood. You don't know
you're free to go to hell, Byron, unless you believe the book.
I believe it. You better believe I believe
Fine,
the book.
I don't believe the book. It wasn't. Jesus came to earth for 33 years and didn't write one thing down. Clearly, he doesn't care that much about whether or not I go to hell if he didn't write anything down.
He wrote in the sand.
Well, where's the sand?
When they said, what should we do with this woman?
Where is the sand, Byron?
Rocks at her and stone her, and he was writing in the sand.
Buddy, I didn't claim he was illiterate. I claimed that he was inconsiderate. It is inconsiderate to send your child to be tortured for all of eternity, and you not write anything down as far as instructions. Why make a 1,700-page book?
He wrote in the sand.
I hear you. I didn't call him illiterate.
You said he didn't write anything down.
Byron, the sand is not before me. Fine. Send an angel right here and have him write something on the floor.
Do you want to keep going with this guy?
I went so much time through church talking to lunatics like this. There's just a tenuous grasp of reality when it comes to believing the Bible.
All right, Byron, anything else you want to share? Go ahead.
The word is complete. We need only belief, for these words are glorious. That's what I wrote at the end of my Bible.
Congratulations.
Now that the word is complete.
And you get the idea. You get pleasure. You admitted earlier that you get pleasure out of the idea of somebody burning in hell for all eternity.
Lunatics. What's the last book you read?
It was called Free Private Cities by Titus Gables.
Thanks for the call, Byron. I've had enough with the book club. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE.
Unless you count comic books. I read one with my son recently.
Okay. Yeah. What was that?
I don't know the name of it. It was an Avengers book. It was about Odin and Thor and all that stuff, which has got to be satanic, right? Because it's talking about other deities.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Worshiping false idols, Mark. Yeah. We continue here. We've got
religion really should be private because I mean whenever you talk about
keep it to yourself.
Yeah, whenever you talk about what you believe, and I'm happy to talk about what I believe. I'm no atheist.
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
I believe in a God. My God loves you. My God wants the best thing for you, and my God would never send you to hell.
His own creation.
Yeah, why would he do that?
For all eternity.
Why would he send some kind of cryptic book down that could be interpreted a dozen different ways where the main character's name is mistranslated and then tell you you're going to go to hell if you don't believe it?
It's like tantamount to the little kid with the magnifying glass over the ant pile, right? Just torturing things just for the sake of torture.
Right. That's not a loving God. That's a Bronze Age deity that,
Set up an inquisition, you get one question wrong, and you get burned for all eternity.
Right. I mean, it's just, it's the ideas that people at that time had about God, and those things are relevant. You should look at them. You should know it. Ancient texts are important, but please, this book, the Bible, isn't like it came out of King James's hand in 1611. Okay, the Bible was a document put together by Scripture, and it wasn't even put together until centuries after Jesus's death. There were Christians for hundreds of years before the Bible existed.
We got more on the way. Got time for you if you want to jump on the lines here. Phone lines are completely busy, 855-450-FREE, but you can jump into our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They are open and available to you at discord.lrn.fm.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
You want to know the 37 items you must have to survive a crisis? Then I've got some good news for you. Former CIA officer and New York Times best-selling author Jason Hansen is now giving listeners a free copy of his book, The Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 Items You Must Have to Survive a Crisis. You can claim your copy at freeescapebook.com. Don't delay. Jason reveals the guns, knives, flashlights, and water filters that could save your life in an economic collapse or grid-down event. Get your free book today, freeescapebook.com. freeescapebook.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Doing the live Saturday edition. Open phones as always. You can bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And don't forget, you can help support Free Talk Live by becoming a Free Talk Live amplifier like Paza, who is a silver amplifier, which means Paza is giving $5 a month to this show to help advertise, market, and promote. That's what AMP stands for. It's a way for you to get behind what we do here so you can help us get on more radio stations around the country and bring new internet listeners on board, expose new people to the ideas of freedom. We've got a good week coming up here. Well, actually, in a little bit more than a week. Next Monday is the end of a bunch of radio shows. Laura Ingraham is calling it quits. the
Phil Valentine
show, Michael Medved, they're all leaving syndication. They're going to likely continue as a local show.
Michael Savage is cutting half of his show.
Yeah, Savage is cutting back. He's going to be doing only 1 hour live, and then he'll be doing a podcast per day. So he's basically quitting radio. I mean, almost quitting.
So is he going to do more podcast after that? So he's going to do more show.
I think he's
going
to do an hour podcast and an hour live show or something like that. But that's good news for Free Talk Live. It means we got opportunities because whenever slots open up on the radio, we're there to fill it. So it's a good time for contacting local stations, and if they're already carrying Free Talk Live, saying thanks and asking for a little bit more. And if you're not getting any Free Talk Live on your local talk radio station, then call and ask real nice to get some, because we're here 7 nights a week. 7 to 10 at night, Eastern Time. Always happy to take your calls and thoughts about what you want. Let's go back to the phones and to the fun. John is in Arizona listening. I'm not sure. Where are you in Arizona, John?
Bullhead City.
Bullhead City. Welcome. You're on Free Talk Live. Probably listening to K-Talks. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just listening to you guys, and that little rigmarole you just went through with the previous caller. I find in my life, in Vietnam, I was born and raised Catholic. Did the altar boy stuff, had a talk with a priest, found out that my connection to God Almighty, was between me and God. I didn't have to go through a religion. I didn't have to go through any sort of a ritual. If you know God, you know your salvation. And all these people that want you to think that their way is the way, it's a sad, sad story.
Yep. It's I feel for people who have that kind of vision of God, because
the punishing evil kind of mad
right.
God.
I mean, what? I don't live in that world, and I don't have to deal with that, but they do. They live every day in it.
Yeah,
and it's scary. It's sad.
Well, you know what's scary and sad is the part you're never, no matter what you do, will change how they believe. Their faith, however they believe, hopefully they're thinking clearly and properly, will get them to their salvation. Otherwise, they miss the bus, they miss the train, they miss the airplane.
I love where you're coming from here, John, tonight. Good words. Appreciate the wisdom. Thank you for the call tonight. I definitely appreciate it. The idea that everybody's on their own path to God. Everybody's got their own different journey that they're on. That one simple, the idea that one religion has all the answers, I think, is ridiculous on its face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that one religion has all the answers. I feel like,
but that's what many of them believe.
A fair and just right. Many different religions believe that they're the only one religion, and clearly and obviously they can't be. I think one of the atheists' arguments out there is look, I'm an atheist on one more religion than you are, because everybody disbelieves
the other religions.
All the other religions. Right. I mean, that Odin stuff is crap, and clearly Quetzalcoatl isn't a winged serpent that does whatever, right? Most people are atheists when it comes to other religions.
On the other hand,
not their own.
I actually enjoy reading about other religions because there's a lot within them that I do like.
Sure.
I can kind of I'm like a religious buffet guy. Like I pick what I like from over here, I pick what I like from over there, and whatever it is, it seems
but
right.
Most of it's just the same. I mean, religions basically want you to act in a moral fashion towards everyone. They want you to treat people as though you want to be treated. I would go one further and say that you should treat people the way they want to be treated. But nonetheless, religions mostly have it right, and then they've got all these stories that go with them that are unlikely. For instance, the Noah story. The Noah story is a terrible story because, I mean, how many people's religion has it ruined? How many people's relationship with God can they just not get past the idea that 10 inches of rain fell per minute to cover the globe in water, and then that water all went away and went somewhere? I mean, you don't have to call me and explain to me the Noah story.
No.
I'm pretty clear on it. But, I mean, the boat, as it's described, wouldn't float because the story wasn't written by a shipwreck. Yeah. Okay? The story was written by some guy sitting around a campfire back 4,000 years ago. It's much older than the Bible. You can find it in the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Trying to teach a lesson, trying to teach whatever.
Sure.
information about the world.
I'm not even sure what lesson you're trying to teach when you say that God wiped out
God.
everybody. I mean, best I can tell is don't have sex with giants.
That's probably not a good idea.
That's
anyway.
what the Nephilim are.
Let's go back to your calls and thoughts. John's on the line in Virginia. Hello, John. Hello. Yep, you are on now. Go ahead. John.
I catch him.
John, you're on, dude. You're on right now. He's talking to somebody about how he's on the air. Okay, there you go. You're on, dude.
All right. Okay. I've been thinking about the deficit.
Okay.
We've got an extremely high deficit, over $1 trillion, many
That's
trillions
a debt.
of dollars.
Wait. That's the debt.
Yes, the debt. The debt, and to wrap your mind around $1 trillion, if you were around when Christ was on earth 2,000 years ago, if you give $1 million a day away every day for 2,000 years, you have not given away $1 trillion yet.
I think it's 21.9 trillion, actually.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yep.
The interest on that money is astronomical.
It's more than the Internal Revenue Service collects from income tax.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we were to reduce that deficit, and instead of having the accumulation of the debt every day, that money could be used to build the wall. That's my point.
Well, if the United States government paid off the debt, there would be no currency. The Federal Reserve loans. When you look at the dollar bill in your hand, if you pulled one out and looked at it, it would be called a Federal Reserve note. The Federal Reserve note is a quasi-governmental cartel of banks that issues currency through debt, through treasury notes from the United States government.
Notes are evidence of debt. That's what a note is.
A note is a debt. You have a note on your house, you have a note on your car, and you have a Federal Reserve note. Once all the currency is, once all that's paid off, which of course you can't pay it off because it's loaned at interest, then all the money's gone away. I mean, our economy is designed. We're still paying debt. You and I and your kids will be paying debt on a debt from the American Civil War, like 150 years ago, and it just keeps on piling up. And something has to be done. I say that the government. Look, you want to talk about a wall? Let's talk about reducing the debt first.
Well, that's what he said. He said reduce the debt, and then that would make it so you could pay for a wall. But, of course, then you end up with all the other problems like we talked about earlier, like a police state. Do you really want to live in a police state?
No.
Okay. What would be evidence to you that you were living in a police state?
Evidence of a police state. Basically no rights.
Okay.
No rights of an individual.
So would you say like being stopped on the streets on your way to work, for instance, by men with guns demanding your papers, would that be an evidence that you are in a police state?
Yeah, that sounds like communism.
Well, it doesn't have to be communism. It can just be simple authoritarianism, whether it be communist or whether it be, whatever they call themselves. And that's what we have today. Mm-hmm. We have that today. Have you ever been through a roving checkpoint? Have you ever been through an internal checkpoint?
I have not.
You're lucky. See, they must not have them in Virginia yet, but they've had them here in New Hampshire, and they have them all across the southern border. Mark, you went through one in the El Paso, Texas.
Mine wasn't
area.
Roving. Mine was a permanent.
I said either or.
Yeah,
there's
border installation. Well, it wasn't a border. It was
internal.
It was on I-10 on an interstate. Yeah. They stop every car that goes by on the interstate. Are you a U.S. citizen? And then I presume if you say, yes, man, then they start asking you more questions. If you say, yes, fine, sir, I am a proud American, then they just let you go.
How about if you're at work and a bunch of men with guns come in uniforms and hold you at gunpoint and the rest of the office staff at gunpoint, or the machining staff or wherever it is you're working, and demand to look through the employee files? Would that be evidence that you're in a police state?
So you guys are saying if we pay off the debt, we'll be in a police state?
No, I'm saying if you
paying off the debt's great, but if you building a wall is just one more step towards a police state.
I'm telling you, you already got it, and the wall's only going to make it worse.
Without a country, we got a country. We need borders.
You're trolling. Thanks for the call, John. I appreciate it. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855.
Countries have existed a long time without borders, and this country, this country didn't have border control 100 years ago.
Yeah, and it was
just fine.
And
did well.
That freedom built us into the most free and prosperous place on the planet, and they're trying to ruin that now. And you're cheering it on. More coming up.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens, and we're proud to promote amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Visit gcnlife.com for products like Luminesse. The Luminesse anti-aging skincare line restores youthful vitality and radiance to your skin, reducing the appearances of fine lines and wrinkles with stem cell technology. There's also Instantly Ageless, which works within 2 minutes, reducing under-eye bags, fine lines, wrinkles, and pores. Jeunesse has products to help you with how you look and feel in a very short time. Nobel-nominated Dr. Vincent Jampapa has designed several products helping the body perform better. Jeunesse products have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and they're available up to a 25% preferred price discount. See all of the amazing Jeunesse products at gcnlife.com or call toll-free 1-844-443-6637, 1-844-443-6637.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, December 29th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.39 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,281 per ounce. Zen is trading at $6, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,908. Antiwar.com reports some early reports suggested that the U.S. could be out of Syria within 30 days, but when Defense Secretary James Mattis signed the order last week, there was no timetable attached. Now, U.S. officials say that the full withdrawal could take several months. This is based on the most recent set of plans based on President Trump's call for a deliberate and orderly withdrawal of U.S. forces. Several months is a long time, however, and may not be in keeping with the priority of getting out of the country before the Turkish invasion. Moreover, it's already been confirmed that the U.S. is coordinating its withdrawal with the Turkish government in keeping with its planned military operations. While Turkey has not made any specific timetable for its invasion either, it has been suggested to begin much sooner than several months from now, which may point to ongoing negotiations. There is no official publicly available figure for the number of U.S. troops in Syria, but estimates are around 2,000. The withdrawal of 2,000 troops, particularly when they are also close to Iraq, another nation with a U.S. military presence, seems like it could have been faster, and any long delays are likely to be deliberate and not a question of logistical issues. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports up against a deadline to find a way out of its bankruptcy. Sears announced plans on Friday to close 80 more stores in March. Sears officials told employees it will begin liquidation sales at 43 Sears and 37 Kmart stores in 2 weeks. Sears chairman Eddie Lampert proposed to buy the company as a whole through his hedge fund, ESL Investments. He has propped up the company with funding for several years. CNBC reported Eddie Lampert submitted a $4.4 billion bid in an effort to buy the retailer and keep it alive, adding that the offer offer came just in time to meet the 4 p.m. deadline. Last week, a bankruptcy court allowed Sears Holding to sell its home improvement services business to Service.com for $60 million. The store, once a shopping mall mainstay, has slowly declined in recent years and was slow to respond to the trend in online shopping. It filed for bankruptcy in October with about 700 stores still open, but plans to close 142 unprofitable locations. The closure of another 40 stores was announced in November. If Lampert secures a bid, it would save all of Sears' remaining assets, but some creditors have said they would prefer to liquidate the company. Experts say most of the already closed stores will likely face demolition because of difficulty in finding new tenants to utilize stores of that size, typically 10,000 square feet or more. In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. Reuters reports New York City police will use an aerial drone for the first time to monitor crowds gathered in Times Square on Monday for the New Year's Eve ball drop celebrations, according to officials on Friday, adding that there is no known threat to the night's festivities. The camera-carrying drone will be tethered to the roof of a building and will not fly directly over the hundreds of thousands of revelers in the area, but it will add an additional vantage point alongside the 1,225 fixed video cameras that police will deploy. Using counter-drone technology, the New York Police Department will also work with federal agents to thwart any civilians attempting to fly their own drones through Manhattan's canyons as 2019 dawns. The security plan includes closing off blocks around Times Square to traffic and deploying thousands of police officers, uniformed and plainclothes, in the crossroads and surrounding streets. Crews have even sealed shut manholes to prevent sewers from being used as a means to bypass security checkpoints. Police have also taken special precautions at high-rise hotels around Times Square, aiming to prevent any would-be attacker from using a hotel room as a sniper's nest. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The producers of Sesame Street have responded to the controversy over the recent New Yorker cover that showed Bert and Ernie as a gay couple celebrating the repeal of DOMA. Sesame Workshop released a statement today saying, quote, "We have never viewed Bert and Ernie as a gay couple, but as two friends who will do absolutely anything to get their rocks off. These pansexual perverts cannot be categorized in your narrow gay, straight, or bisexual paradigm. They're into some pretty sick shit." On their website, PBS released a long list of the duo's strange sexual fetishes, which range from shoving ice into their anuses so that they can shit cold water into women's mouths, to castrating stray dogs and then masturbating onto the animals' bleeding wounds. Although they're flattered that fans have turned the characters into gay icons, the producers explained that calling them gay would be inaccurate. Quote, "They will literally f*** anything that moves." The producers also added that Oscar the Grouch is neither male nor female, and that its trash can is designed to hide a lower body that is just a Lovecraftian monstrosity of hundreds of interlocking penises and vaginas.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of this live Saturday edition of the program. You can dial in toll free. You can join us here, take control of the airwaves, and bring up whatever you want. We didn't intend to, but it's open phones every night here on Free Talk Live, and inevitably, somebody called in about immigration. And that's pretty much what people want to talk about now. So we're going to get into that. But, of course, you can bring up anything anytime you want. With you here tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or call in on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You'll sound almost like you're in the studio with us if you do that. And in fact, we've got one of those calls on the line. We'll get to it here in a moment. But first, to the phones. And to the fun, we go to Jake, listening in Indianapolis to WIBC-FM. Hello, Jake.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's on your mind?
Obviously, illegal immigration is a topic. So before we start there, I mean, a lot of time guys on the pro side of this are a little off the rails and don't seem to have many good talking points. First of all, I'm a libertarian, so I'm not a conservative to begin with wholeheartedly. I kind of sit on both sides. Secondary to that, this always turns into a topic about immigration. This is not about immigration. I don't have a problem with immigration. I don't believe many Americans do. It's illegal immigration that's the problem.
Can you tell me, as a libertarian, can you tell me the successful government program?
As far as what?
You tell
I'm
me.
a constitutionalist. As a libertarian, I don't necessarily believe in big government.
Right. Well, I'm just saying that if the government's bad, presumably the government is bad at most things.
I'm not.
Why would they be good at immigration?
We obviously have a lot. Okay, I want to try to keep this civil, man. Too many people go crazy, and this is. I'm not asking you a question.
I used to be.
I got you. I'm not saying you are going. Yeah. I'm saying too many people start going off the rails.
Sure.
I don't necessarily know that there are many good government programs.
Okay.
To be honest.
Should we put this organization in charge of something as important as immigration then?
How about this though?
Okay.
Let's put it in perspective. We talk about illegal immigration and people flying in from other countries. Okay.
Okay, flying in.
Over 50% of illegal immigration comes from the southern border. That's Mexicans.
No, well, hold on.
That's hold on. Central and South American.
More than 50% of illegal immigrants are overstaying visas. So they may have come from south of the border, but they came here legally when they did.
Where do you get your statistic from?
The internet, just like you.
Well, I mean, I get my facts from a lot of different places.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I cannot cite a source at the moment while we're just going back and forth. I'll be happy to address that when we come back.
So we're going on break?
No, we're not.
We're not. I'm telling you that you need to operate from the standpoint that more than 50% of the people in this country are overstayed visas.
I'm operating from the standpoint that this always gets turned into a problem that America's anti-immigrant. We're a country founded on immigration, but we're also a country of laws. The problem being, I'm an American citizen. I'm not allowed to violate a law as an American citizen.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you telling me you don't ever violate the law?
I'm not saying I don't violate major federal laws. No.
By the way, immigration's a misdemeanor.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Now listen to my point here. Answer this: if they're here illegally and they're not allowed in most states, they're not allowed to require legal identification. They can't pay taxes legally. There's a lot of things that they cannot do.
But many of them do
receive.
pay taxes.
How are they doing it? They're using illegal identification.
Sure.
They're driving without a driver's license.
That's because it's hard to get legal identification.
That's identity deception at the best. That's a felony in every state. Or it's identity theft.
Why in the world do you think that you... Hold on, wait.
Tax evasion.
As a libertarian, do you want... do you turn over to the government the ability to identify people for you? Because I don't think the government should be out there just identifying everybody willy-nilly.
If we are born in this country, we are vetted and we are identified. We are locked in. There are 3 branches of government in this country.
Americans commit far more crimes than illegal immigrants do.
What's that?
Americans commit far more crimes than illegal immigrants do. I mean, vetted.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, but the numbers are we vastly outnumber illegal immigrants and immigrants in general as far as natural-born American citizens, naturalized citizens.
Yeah,
that's not really even a fair argument.
Well, how do you define libertarian? I mean, you called yourself a libertarian.
He's constitutionalist.
You're not sounding real libertarian to me.
I'm a constitutionalist.
Okay.
I do not listen. I'm gonna tell you, I don't really identify as with a political party anymore.
Okay.
The political parties. I'm not a politician.
So you really don't care about freedom. You don't care about human freedom at all.
I'm an American citizen. I care about liberty, freedom, and
no, you don't.
This country.
No, you don't.
Yes,
you don't care about freedom for other people. You only care about freedom for yourself.
You don't want to have an honest discussion because you can't fight facts.
Well, no, I'm asking you a question, and you don't want to answer it.
Argue. Ask the question. Go ahead. I didn't hear a question.
You only care about freedom for yourself, don't you?
Do you think... I got a better question. Do you think that you can enforce immigration laws?
I'll answer your question. Let me answer that question. I care about freedom for every single American citizen that's a naturalized citizen.
Not other people in the world?
It's pretty exclusionary.
If they come to the country legally, sure. What about child sex trafficking? 20,000 plus
children. How does that have to do with anything?
They come through the southern border, a vast majority. Not all of them, a vast majority. How about drugs pouring in through the southern border? You don't want to control that?
Well, the drugs are pouring in through the southern border because they can be produced more cheaply down there. That's a drug war issue.
Okay, but
and the people that are consuming child sex trafficking are Americans. So you've got a problem with Americans' appetite for child sex traffic, apparently.
I want to see an end to the war on drugs completely.
Explain to me how you're going to increase freedom in my life by controlling immigration and taxing me for it.
Controlling immigration. It's about forcing immigration in through legal means.
It's not about controlling, Mark. It's about forcing.
Right? It's not control. It's force.
Absolutely, it's about forcing them to come in legally.
Here, I've got I've got a proposal for you. Let me give you a proposal.
Your proposal's going to be dumb, I'm sure.
Okay.
All right. He's got open mind. He's got an open mind. Mark.
I'm a dumbass, and it's no problem.
Go ahead.
My proposal is fire everybody at Customs and Border Patrol. Fire all of ICE. Fire all that stuff.
What exactly?
Hold on, I'm not done. Then
listen to you.
Let anybody come through. I'm talking.
Okay, he just said the F word. I'm sorry. I had to hit the dump button there. I put him on hold, though, Mark, and now he's done. Now he dropped off the line.
Okay.
But what's your proposal?
Let anybody come in who wants to come in, and just put up a little kiosk there. Ask them their name, and get their information. Let them come in and work. They won't be eligible for any government programs, and don't let them be eligible to vote for their lifetime. Just give them some kind of visa to work. Let them work. Let them build this country. So at that point, we're not talking about forcing immigration laws. You just make the law so that people can come in here and work. And then you'll only get people who want to work, and you won't have to pay for them, and they won't be able to vote Democrat. Problem solved. You don't have to. Everybody doesn't have to get all up in arms. We don't have to build some dumb wall, and we don't have the big wasteful government bureaucracy of Customs and Border Patrol that can be paid off by the coyotes to get people in.
Let's continue with your calls and thoughts. Robert's in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC-FM. Hello, Robert.
Yeah.
You're on the air.
Yeah. I guess my question is, what's the number one task the government is responsible for? Like, I believe it's them to keep us safe, right, from outside.
That's the idea.
They have no obligation to do anything of this sort.
Yeah, it's the truth. Like that's something that's important to point out, that the United States Supreme Court has ruled time and again, not just once, but multiple times, that there is no obligation for the government to protect you. It is an organization that is formed to protect you, but it's a monopoly that has no obligation to protect you. Doesn't that sound like a recipe for disaster?
Right. But
Yeah. No problem. This unaccountable bureaucracy that steals our money on a regular basis is obviously we should put it in charge of the most important stuff.
Give it more power.
Give it more money.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean,
all right.
The more the government controls, the less liberty we got. I understand.
Great. Yep.
But what's going to keep the bad guys from coming in and blowing up buildings? Stuff like that.
Keeping the United States military out of their damn country.
There's got to be some kind of vetting on bringing these bad guys in. You can't just let them come in freely and take what we earn.
I think it's okay. So it depends on what kind of bad guy we're talking about. If we're talking about them terrorists, right? My first argument would be the United States military, which is currently in 1,000 foreign bases in 150 countries. Should be.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
Right. Put them on the first thing smoking back to America so they can actually protect America. And then you won't have the problem of other people wanting to come here and blow up buildings.
No doubt about it. Robert, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. What about the bad guys in Washington, D.C. and all the state governments?
They're all right. They're all right. They suck, but they're all right.
Those are the bad guys that really concern me, because they're the ones that are constantly threatening your freedom, not some immigrants who just want to work.
You want to know the 37 items you must have to survive a crisis? Then I've got some good news for you. Former CIA officer and New York Times best-selling author Jason Hansen is now giving listeners a free copy of his book, The Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 items you must have to survive a crisis. You can claim your copy at freeescapebook.com. Don't delay. Jason reveals the guns, knives, flashlights, and water filters that could save your life in an economic collapse or grid-down event. Get your free book today, freeescapebook.com. freeescapebook.com. There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. My Pillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
After months of struggling to find their footing, it looks like the GOP has finally found an effective spokesman. Since Republican leaders unveiled the reanimated corpse of Ronald Reagan at a fundraising event last week, the undead former president has quickly emerged as the new face of the Republican Party. Since Reagan was brought back from the grave by GOP leaders in a top-secret $2.2 million reanimation project, poll data shows Reagan with a higher favorability rating than all other high-profile Republicans combined.
The voters know Reagan. They trust Reagan. When he moans at them, they're going to listen.
There's questions as to whether he still has capacity for thought, and he does eat people, but big picture, he's the best option they have right now.
And appeared in a series of GOP ads promoting the Republican Party's traditional values.
Congress and the president say they're trying to help fix our country's economy. Ronald Reagan and the Republican Party have the right idea for America's future.
This is the Onion News Network.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, our Discord on-air call-in line rooms are open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. Discord, by the way, for those that don't know, is a free chat server that you can log into anytime you want. And there's apps for all pretty much devices, whether it be your cell phone, laptop, desktop, computer. There's a Discord app for you. And it's a great way to call the show. But in addition, you can actually talk to and chat with, in either text form or voice form, other listeners of the program, including some of the hosts of the show. They'll frequently be found on the Discord server. Go to discord.lrn.fm and you can get started there. It's free. That's discord.lrn.fm. We go back to your phone calls and thoughts. You can bring up what you want. Let's talk to Tony. He's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Tony, you're on Free Talk Live listening to WRNN.
Hey guys, how you doing? I love your show.
Thanks.
Just wanted to make sure quickly about that guy earlier. I think his name was Byron.
Yeah.
One thing I learned when I used to be a Jehovah's Witness was that, emphasis on I used to be.
Yeah.
The one true thing about religion is that religion is a snare and a racket. Most of the time, they're just trying to brainwash you with beliefs so they can control your life, and they just want your money for different things. And it doesn't matter what religion it is, whether it's Christian, Muslim, or any other religion. They all do the same thing. very few people actually do good things and are kind and loving to one another and try to help other people. Most of the time, they're just trying to condemn people like that guy was doing on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you guys are doing is a wonderful thing because you're promoting conversation so we can reach better freedom, better happiness in our lives, opposed to being condemning one another. And because this religion, they think that by condemning other people, they're gonna that way convert them, and that's so far from the truth.
Yeah, it's the last thing that's going to work is to embarrass somebody into somehow admitting that they've always been looking for your viewpoint in their life, whatever that might happen to be. Tell us about your story about the Jehovah's Witnesses. I take it, I'm going to just guess you were raised Jehovah's Witness, and then how'd you get out?
What happened was, long story short, I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and then I started doing things that were not okay in their view, and they shunned me or disfellowshipped me.
What was the word?
Disfellowshipped.
Disfellowship?
Disfellowship, which is another word so other people can understand it a little better, is they shun you. They they stop talking to you.
When you were a teenager?
And actually, when I was actually an adult, it happened like 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it happens to a lot of teenagers because, it's hard to be a teen and then, go into government school and seeing all that stuff that goes on there, and then, that tends to happen.
Yeah, we've heard this about Jehovah's Witnesses, is that if they disfellowship you or whatever, or if you quit the church, if your family stays in, they'll stop talking to you.
That is correct. Yeah, they basically ignore your existence.
Wow.
And unfortunately, they don't realize that by doing that, the suicide rate of Jehovah's Witnesses that has been disfellowshipped is extremely high.
I bet it is, because all of the people that they knew, everybody that they grew up with, I mean, everybody they were close to.
It's basically the stated goal. I mean, you can no longer love your family member, and people that feel unloved tend to commit suicide more often. I mean, it's a pretty reasonable and expected result.
Yeah, and what they do too is that while you're a Jehovah's Witness, they prohibit you from having any friends outside of the congregation. So if then you become shunned or disfellowshipped, you have no friends whatsoever.
Right.
Because all your friends are only in the congregation.
Right, so you're completely out in the cold. There's nobody that you can turn to. And that, of course, keeps people in because they know what waits for them if they go on the outs, and they know how much, at least how difficult that seems from the outset. Like that's a challenge, right, to start from zero like that and have to build relationships with people that you honestly don't have any kind of connection to because all you've known your whole life is the cult. And by the way, this excommunication is a sign that you're in a cult. If the group that you're in, part of the way they operate is to exclude somebody that goes on the outs, like the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's the long time has been a hallmark of a cult.
Yeah, and although if you ever meet any Jehovah's Witness, generally speaking, they're usually very nice people.
Oh yeah, sure.
But their issue is the leadership. Their leadership is covering up for awful things that also happen inside the congregation. I've discovered that they have been covering for many years sexual predators inside the congregation.
Surprise, surprise.
And that is, if you do research about them, in Australia, there's a royal commission over there that uncovered a bunch of that stuff. There's a bunch of lawsuits in this country towards the Jehovah's Witnesses organization because they cover up sexual abuse within the congregation, within their members, instead of reporting it to the police like they should. Because they feel like, we're going to tarnish Jehovah's name. Well, no, the person that tarnished Jehovah's name was the person doing the wrongdoing, so they should be the one excommunicated.
Right. Instead, if you point something like that out, you get put on the outs, and then you have no friends or family.
Churches do this over and over again. It doesn't particularly matter the denomination. They all seem to want to cover it up.
Catholics, the Baptists have been accused of it recently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't really matter the denomination because no matter what, that's what they're going to do because they're like, we don't want this denomination name in the newspaper saying this bad thing, and then people won't want to come here and we definitely want to get people to come here because it's more important to save their soul than it is to worry about this poor abused kid or accused person or whatever.
Tony, anything else you want to share tonight?
Yes, and I just wanted to emphasize the one point that I said earlier. Like, religion is a snare and a racket. And funny thing is, the person that mentioned that was the second president of the Organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. He did it in a talk many years ago that he gave. That he said religion is a snare and a racket. But the thing he didn't realize that includes them too. It includes every single one of them, because most of the time they're not promoting true united people through kindness and love towards one another.
Thank you for the call, Tony. Great call, man. Appreciate your thoughts. Appreciate hearing from you tonight. The toll-free number for you, 855-450-FREE. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with religion, which is to say belief or understanding about what the nature of the universe is and God. But I think he might have meant more like organized religion. It seems like the larger the organization, the more corruption comes within it.
Well, yeah, the longer you've been, the longer an organization's been around, the bigger it gets, the more people involved, the more likely that somebody bad steals the wedding bell, and then you're off to the races. It should be about your personal relationship with your understanding of the deity or deities, whatever. I call it a mystery because I think it's a mystery. And I don't think we're going to figure this thing out. And we certainly shouldn't be screaming at each other over it.
No doubt about it. So if you want to join the conversation, you can bring up anything that you want, whether it's immigration, religion, or ridiculous government regulations on business. Those are some of the topics we've discussed tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
At WolfHillAmmo.com, we love shotguns. We offer the best specialty shotgun ammo on the market, including our defensive combo packs for home and retreat. Our less lethal combo is good for animal control, the 4-legged kind and 2-legged. When lethal force is necessary, reach for our Stop 'em, Drop 'em, or our home defense combos. These 5-round packs include different heavy hitters to protect your loved ones. Visit WolfHillAmmo.com to see our great prices on these combo packs and other specialty shotgun ammo rounds. WolfHillAmmo.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free and bring up whatever you want. Our toll free number is 855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on air call in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Mark, tell me about how things are going over with hope.freetalklive.com, the fundraiser going on right now to help out an orphanage in Uganda.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I guess people, thinking about the holidays and stuff, the donations kind of dipped off in the last week. We're at about, I think it's $4,300 we've raised to buy a piece of property so that the orphans of Kigoma, Jinja, Uganda, who we helped build a building for, can have a little piece of land to grow some crops on and to feed themselves, and then maybe send those crops to the market, have a little bit of money so that they can have a teacher come and all the kids can get educated. Rather than currently, they go out and beg and they raise some money and they go to the school that's nearby. It's actually cheaper to bring a teacher in because they can teach all the kids, and then they can actually make a little money for having a teacher that's right in Kigoma as opposed to the kids going elsewhere. And we're matching every dollar that's donated. So if you donate $50, it turns into $100. Mm-hmm. We've got matching funds. If you go to hope.freetalklive.com and you donate there, currently we've got a team of matchers, which includes the Shire Free Church and other organizations, and it's great. So please, this is what I'm trying to do. This is my mission right now. We built them a orphanage, and now I want to make them self-sufficient so they don't have to beg.
Hope.freetalklive.com. Let's go to the Discord on-air call-in line rooms where Evange Liberty is on the line.
Hey, guys. So I also wanted to call in and address our friend Byron from earlier, who was saying some things that really makes my team look really, really bad. I just wanted to kind of...
So you're a good Christian?
Say that one more time.
So you're a good Christian?
I attempt to be the best that I can.
Don't we all?
Right, yeah. I make absolutely no claims whatsoever that I'm like any type of perfect. But what I felt the need to call in and address the worldwide audience or whatever.
Before you go on, you didn't turn speaker back on, did you? Because the sound isn't the best quality. I mean, we can probably go with it, but I know that we did a little testing during the break. You didn't happen to accidentally turn the speaker mode back on, did you?
I don't believe I did. No. Hang on just a sec. I still have push to talk.
Yeah, so every now and then Discord's pretty good. It's a pretty good way of calling the show. Almost probably 9.5 out of 10 calls. It sounds pretty darn good. Just the audio's ducking out a little bit on this one. So
go ahead and make your statement. We'll try not to interrupt you.
We'll try not to interrupt.
It's going to be a little harder to correspond.
Okay, well, I
that's much better. Whatever you did there. Go ahead.
You were right. Speaker came back on for some reason, but basically, what I just wanted to say to the worldwide listening community is when guys like Byron and others that I've heard come, they call in and they start spewing the kind of ignorance that they spew. I just want to ask you to please take those things with a grain of salt and reserve judgment on the evangelical community as a whole. Ignorance like that, yeah, there's a lot of it, but there is also a good many of us who are really legitimately doing the best that we can to live our lives in a way that truly honors God and truly tries to do the things that we believe he wants to do, which is the two great commands: love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah, you don't do that. Just for our listeners who might just be tuning in, the gentleman you're talking about, Byron, was one of those frothing at the mouth types of people who was yelling about how we're going to hell, and he actually seemed like he was taking pleasure in the idea that we were going to hell. So not the best advocate for his particular viewpoint.
Correct, and I'm personally tired of being represented by people like that.
I'll bet, and that I feel the same way. It's one of the reasons that I tend not to use the title of Christian when I discuss my own particular religion, and it's because, well, when you wear that title, to some extent, you're allying yourself with these people that. All the people throughout the ages who've had these crazy ideas and all that other stuff. And, everybody's got their own particular belief system, and they each should be judged individually. And that's how I prefer to look at it. Sadly, having been in the evangelical community myself, Byron and that sort are
pretty common.
Yeah, not terribly uncommon. Certainly verbose.
Oh, I'm certainly aware there are a lot of them. One thing that I do need to say, and I know this is going to sound like an excuse, I don't intend it to be, but the thing people need to understand is when we become a Christian, when Christians become Christians, we do not cease to be human beings.
Sure.
And human beings, unfortunately, do horrible things to each other and say horrible things to each other, and that doesn't magically go away when we align ourselves with this belief. We are not supposed to we are supposed to attempt to be better. We are supposed to attempt to be more like Jesus every single day. And unfortunately, there are far too many people who they think that the fact that they said a prayer at the front of a church once is all that they need. They don't need to do anything else.
There's no practice necessary. You don't have to admit that you're wrong or even look back at the things that you've done and try to correct the errors because you didn't make any errors. You are perfect in God's eyes.
Right. Yeah. No. And that's not true. We are all attempting to work out our salvation with fear and trembling, which is what we're told to do in the Bible. Which essentially means, and that doesn't mean be terrified of God all the time and be afraid that he's going to smite us. As a matter of fact, a little bit of insight. I work at a church. And so I actually, just before I started listening, I was actually in a service. And one of the things that was spoken tonight was talking about how, if we are, if we're doing the best we can to live as believers of Jesus, if we have trusted him for our salvation, we do not have to be afraid of his wrath. And so we should not be preaching wrath to other people, because that's not what he's trying to do.
I love that sermon, but I mean, to some extent, that's the selling point of modern Christianity. It's got the carrot, which is heaven, and the stick, which is hell. And I think that's, to some extent, what makes it such a popular and pervasive religion is because, hey, if you can't get them in with one, you get them in with the other.
Hey, Evangelist Liberty, thank you for the call tonight, man. I do appreciate the reasonable approach and the thoughts. That's, by the way, sounded good there on our Discord server. Just had to turn the speakerphone off. As we continue here with your calls and thoughts, let's go to Larry in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC-FM. Hello, Larry.
Hey, good fences make good neighbors.
Only if they're voluntary.
But here, check this out. Now, this whole thing is really not about immigration, because I've sensed it all through your conversation tonight. What this country was founded on is slavery, and it's coming right back around. History is repeating itself, because yourselves, you want slavery. You want slaves that you can have for yourself to work for $3 an hour, so you can have an advantage over your competitors. And also, if somebody was blocking your signal
slavery,
tonight,
okay?
you would call
Working
the
for a
to
small
help you
amount
out.
of money is definitely not slavery. And if you want to hang on, Larry, we can bring you back and talk about it. But I've seen this on online profiles. People will describe themselves as a slave at some store or whatever.
Wage slave.
No, they'll just call themselves a slave at whatever.
If you get up and go to work in the morning, you're not a slave.
Yeah, there's more coming up here in moments. You can take control of the
It's an
airwaves.
insult to slaves.
Sure is. Like, yeah, you don't know what that word means. It's Free Talk Live.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the Crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The Crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the Crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the Crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Youngevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now. But the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Youngevity for over 17 years, since before it was Youngevity. And I've got to say, the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Youngevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never, not once, been late in 17 years. Youngevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Youngevity.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Moments remain, enough time for you. If you want to join us here, you can. Although if you're not already on the lines, you're probably not getting in tonight because our lines are full of calls. But if you don't get in tonight, that's okay, because Mark, you're going to be here tomorrow night for the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live.
7 days a week, 365 days a year.
That's
Free
right.
Talk Live has produced a radio program for close to a decade.
More than a decade.
Now, and we had a 6-day-a-week show before that.
Yep, that's right. We did. And so it's open phones every single night here on Free Talk Live. Feel free to join us any night, whether you were hearing us on the radio or not. We are here from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time. Of course, over online at freetalklive.com. You can grab podcast version of the show. You can listen live to our live streams there. And you can watch us on Twitch over at twitch.lrn.fm. That is our video feed here in the studio in HD quality. That's our preferred video platform. We do still have a YouTube channel, but that's in a lower quality. So if you want to see the best quality version of the show in video form, including Jazzy the Studio Beast, she gets included a lot on our video feed, which makes it a lot prettier.
Whenever she's laying in her bed, she gets up there, and people like to see the dog sleep.
Indeed, she doesn't do much else. She's old.
She's an old girl,
but I think younger dogs would sleep too. Anyway, check it out over at twitch.lrn.fm and join us for New Year's Eve when we're going to be doing a special after show. We've been doing these for the last several weeks on Free Talk Live, where normally it's been Tuesday nights. We did one on a Friday. This will be our first Monday night after show, so New Year's Eve is a Monday. And normally, Mark, on Free Talk Live, we wrap up at 10 o'clock at night Eastern Time. We're never on the air for New Year's.
Everybody goes home, yeah.
Yeah, we may not go home, we might hang out or whatever, but we're never on the air when the clock crosses 12 in the Eastern Time Zone. And so now we can do that. Now that we have our Twitch channel, we'll do an after show.
You think I'm going to be up that late?
You don't have to stay. Aria and I can hold the fort down here, and I imagine there's going to be a couple other folks here in the LRN.FM studios that will join us. But you can ring in the new year. If you're like us and you don't have anything else to do, you don't have any plans, then ring in the new year with us on the Twitch channel over at twitch.lrn.fm.
Let's not forget, New Year's Eve is amateur night. People are going to be on the roads
who are less likely to die.
Who are not used to consuming alcohol in the quantity that they consume it, and not used to taking an Uber to get home. Now, first off, I would recommend just don't go out. If you are going to go out, I'd recommend get somebody else to drive if you're going to consume alcohol. So that's my advice for you on New Year's.
Good
amateur night, people.
If you're staying in, join us at twitch.lrn.fm for our special freer Talk Live, as we call it, since we are not burdened by those pesky FCC censors, and we can have a little bit more of a leeway.
Right, you can call in and cuss us out for real.
And we won't drop your call.
Yeah, like so many callers want to do.
All right, speaking of callers, we go back to the phones, and to the phone we got Tom. He's listening in Indianapolis to WIBC FM. Hey, Tom.
Hey, guys, how are you this evening?
Oh, you know what? I'm rude. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm going to put you on hold. I apologize. I forgot about Larry. I want to bring Larry back here because, Mark, you wanted to continue with Larry. Sorry about that,
Sorry,
Larry.
you didn't have much time there,
got
buddy.
distracted. Go ahead.
I was getting worried, but what I want to say to clarify myself, anybody that doubts what I'm saying, go back and get George Wallace's speech, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, a hoax, a fraud, and a sham. Read the speech. You'll see its political correctness. It's backfiring on the Republicans now because they are the one that wanted it. They didn't have any idea of doing anything good for colored people other than to destroy them. Now it's destroying white people. So I just think that a lot of stuff you guys talk about, all right, but I know you got to stay on the air, so you have to have controversy. But when you know the truth, like religion, man who speaks creates God in his own image. That's the bottom line on religion.
Yeah, so I would say that you're right on that, although you were wrong on the idea that having a low-paying job is slavery. I wish we had more time to talk about it, but I do want to get some other folks in here. Thank you, Larry, for your call tonight. If you're choosing to do something, it's not slavery. If you can leave any time, it's not slavery.
Yeah, even if the choices aren't that great, like, it's poverty or
else this.
An unpleasant job, that doesn't make it slavery.
Let's go to Tom. Sorry about that, Tom. All right, now you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
How are you guys?
Yes, good, sir.
We're talking about immigration. He says that, we can have a kiosk and just let people come in and work, and they're not allowed to vote.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm great with that, but, do we not need to vet people? Do we not need to know who's here, what kind of disease they're bringing, and not saying nothing bad about anybody,
Sure.
but there's things in other countries that we've eradicated here.
Yep.
And now we don't have medicines for them because we were no need for them. So how do we...
Let me address that. I think that's the next best question after I've addressed the ones that I have, and I appreciate you bringing it up, Tom. So now I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I'd like to point out to you they don't have all the answers either. When we see outbreaks in this country, remember when the nurse came back with Ebola? Why didn't our government apparatus protect us from that? Well, I got a reason. I know why. Because
government sucks.
They suck. And they're going to continue to suck. They're not going to get better when you open the border and make anything
They're not going to get better if you give more money either.
Right. So if drug-resistant tuberculosis is somehow hiding in Honduras and is going to just wash across the southern border when we open it up and let people work hard here in this country, not get welfare and not be able to vote, then by all means, how are we ever going to be able to fix drug-resistant tuberculosis if we don't let medical professionals here deal with it? I don't know what else to say.
I've never been tested for tuberculosis except for the times when I've gone to jail for civil disobedience. So every time I've crossed a border, nobody's given me a prick on the arm or anything like that. That's never happened.
People are crossing the border right now with that same disease.
Yeah. So I wouldn't really worry about it.
No, and I agree. And you said if we would bring all of our troops home, people wouldn't want to blow us up.
That's right.
Want to attack us. But they would just for who we are, because they
wouldn't.
They disagree with our ideology.
No, that's the old story. That's the idea that Osama bin Laden attacked us over Britney Spears and Coca-Cola. It's just not true. If you look at what these people say when they do their attacks, they have pieces of paper.
Bin Laden made statements.
They almost never make it into the newspaper because the newspaper doesn't want to promote the ideas of these terrorists. Well, their ideas aren't that insane. The reason Osama bin Laden attacked the United States was because of the United States' support of Israel and because of the United States' military presence in Saudi Arabia supporting a king that subjugated his people, that has a religion that's slightly different. If we hadn't had a military there, then he would have never had any currency and never been able to get across. No, people don't attack Switzerland, and they're prosperous and they're
they
westernized.
Got McDonald's there too.
Yeah, they've got all that stuff.
Tom, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate hearing from you. If you want to call and talk more, feel free any night. But I want to make sure we get some other folks in here, like Jim, I believe, in New Hampshire. Jim, you're watching us on YouTube. Go ahead. Jim, going once. Jim going twice.
Waving to YouTube.
Don't have more time for that. Let's continue with Velma, listening to WIBC in Indianapolis. Go ahead, Velma.
Hello.
Hey, you're on the air.
I am very interested in the fact that when we have some differences, we are expected to be truthful, and we want the truth in return. And some of those things provoke lawsuits where we wouldn't have to go through that if those things were handled properly. And I don't think the law is all that glorious about some of the things they do. They put in factual things in place, and then you have to fight them and take a lawyer or something, and you can't even get one.
Can you tell me what we're talking about here?
I'm hearing frustrations with the justice system and confusion about the law. Is that what you're saying, Velma?
Yes. Yeah. I have been faced with an uninsured driver that was illegal on the road, and my insurance had to pay.
Yep.
And I know things got really turned around, and I am going to call a gentleman from your station to see what he might have to help me with.
Is there like an attorney show or something that you're going to call into on WIBC?
No, I called the girl on your on your station, and she said that most of their official people were out until after the first of the year. So.
Well, it sounds to me it's frustrating whenever it is that you're dealing. Obviously, we're not going to have time to get into the details on this, but the justice system is an unwieldy. Thank you for the call, Velma. It is an unwieldy beast. It is hard to handle. It is purposefully designed to be confusing, to where you want to hire somebody who's an attorney, and then, of course, you're paying through the nose $300 an hour, billable hours, as many as they possibly can, to, run you up the flagpole and shake you out get, every penny out of your pockets.
I'd like to also point out what a syndicated show is. We're in New Hampshire. WIBC is in Indianapolis.
Yep.
And
great station.
Right. It's a great station, but they don't want any responsibility for us and our crappy advice. And so
we don't give legal advice. We're not attorneys.
That's right.
But I would say if you're in the law situation, you got to get one, unfortunately. I wish there was another way. We'll see you tomorrow.
Email is easy, instant, and free, and that can be real embarrassing. Email lacks the eye contact and body language you get in face-to-face conversation, or the tone of voice and other nuance you hear in a telephone conversation. Email is just words, often few words. We're all smothering in spam, so we often reply in terse fashion that's easy to misunderstand. And email doesn't cost you a postage stamp, and it lacks the deliberation time it'd take to walk to the snail mail box, so it's easy to succumb to the "oh yeah" stimulus response trap. When in doubt, don't snap back at snippy messages you get. You may have mistaken the sender's intent. And unless you're sending AOL to AOL, there's no unsend. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Refrigerated Cookie Dough. Who would you bake some love for? Find fun and easy baking ideas at tollhouse.com. Kids love doing arts and crafts projects, especially when you join in. Try channeling all that artistic energy into the kitchen and bake up some creative treats together. Think of your art supplies as the frosting, sprinkles, and decorating gels, and use cookies or cupcakes as your canvas. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, December 29th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.39 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,281 per ounce. Zen is trading at $6, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,908. Antiwar.com reports some early reports suggested that the U.S. could be out of Syria within 30 days, but when Defense Secretary James Mattis signed the order last week, there was no timetable attached. Now, U.S. officials say that the full withdrawal could take several months. This is based on the most recent set of plans based on President Trump's call for a deliberate and orderly withdrawal of U.S. forces. Several months is a long time, however, and may not be in keeping with the priority of getting out of the country before the Turkish invasion. Moreover, it's already been confirmed that the U.S. is coordinating its withdrawal with the Turkish government in keeping with its planned military operations. While Turkey has not made any specific timetable for its invasion either, it has been suggested to begin much sooner than several months from now, which may point to ongoing negotiations. There is no official publicly available figure for the number of U.S. troops in Syria, but estimates are around 2,000. The withdrawal of 2,000 troops, particularly when they are also close to Iraq, another nation with a U.S. military presence, seems like it could have been faster, and any long delays are likely to be deliberate and not a question of logistical issues. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports up against a deadline to find a way out of its bankruptcy. Sears announced plans on Friday to close 80 more stores in March. Sears officials told employees it will begin liquidation sales at 43 Sears and 37 Kmart stores in 2 weeks. Sears chairman Eddie Lampert proposed to buy the company as a whole through his hedge fund, ESL Investment. He has propped up the company with funding for several years. CNBC reported Eddie Lampert submitted a $4.4 billion bid in an effort to buy the retailer and keep it alive, adding that the offer came just in time to meet the 4 p.m. deadline. Last week, a bankruptcy court allowed Sears Holding to sell its home improvement services business to Service.com for $60 million. The store, once a shopping mall mainstay, has slowly declined in recent years and was slow to respond to the trend in online shopping. It filed for bankruptcy in October with about 700 stores still open, but plans to close 142 unprofitable locations. The closure of another 40 stores was announced in November. If Lampert secures a bid, it would save all of Sears' remaining assets, but some creditors have said they would prefer to liquidate the company. Experts say most of the already closed stores will likely face demolition because of difficulty in finding new tenants to utilize stores of that size, typically 10,000 square feet or more. In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic. Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. Reuters reports New York City police will use an aerial drone for the first time to monitor crowds gathered in Times Square on Monday for the New Year's Eve ball drop celebrations, according to officials on Friday, adding that there is no known threat to the night's festivities. The camera-carrying drone will be tethered to the roof of a building and will not fly directly over the hundreds of thousands of revelers in the area, but it will add an additional vantage point alongside the 1,225 fixed video cameras that police will deploy. Using counter-drone technology, the New York Police Department will also work with federal agents to thwart any civilians attempting to fly their own drones through Manhattan's canyons as 2019 dawns. The security plan includes closing off blocks around Times Square to traffic and deploying thousands of police officers, uniformed and plainclothed, in the crossroads and surrounding streets. Crews have even sealed shut manholes to prevent sewers from being used as a means to bypass security checkpoints. Police have also taken special precautions at high-rise hotels around Times Square, aiming to prevent any would-be attacker from using a hotel room as a sniper's nest. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A report on obesity rates released this week by the CDC confirmed that millions of courageous Americans continue to overcome the media's persistent pressure to be thin. Researchers told reporters that while the vast majority of film and television continues to portray thin, in-shape people, over 30% of Americans remain resolved in their effort to stand up to idealized images of men and women.
Every day, people are inundated with unvarying images of slim men and women, but millions of heroic Americans continue doing their best every day to maintain BMIs of 35 or higher. These people aren't afraid to fly in the face popular culture deems acceptable and bravely eat and drink whatever they want, whenever they want.
In other news, the nation's single men announce a plan to change their bed sheets by 2019. A woman who left the room crying earlier expects to jump back into the party just like that. And a courtroom artist is clearly infatuated with the bailiff. This 2.5-minute-long session of immersion therapy is finally complete. Your crippling fear of watching video news recaps should no longer be a problem. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
All right, everyone, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm still on vacation right now, but that's okay because I have a very, very special episode lined up for all of you because I've gone through the archive and I've taken the best segments of the year and put them together into Questioning Authority's Best of 2018 episode to listen tonight. And stay tuned till the end for a very special announcement. Now, without further ado, enjoy.
All right, and everyone, welcome back. This is Questioning Authority, the last episode of a month of March, and this has been an exceptional month of March for me. Yeah, it's been a bitch. It's been a pain in the ass, but a lot of things have paid off. I'm so excited. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, but while I get my shit together, we're going to start with this cold opener. I forget what it is, so let's just find out.
Like, I don't know how to send an iMessage, and you're just like, give me the fucking phone, and you take it, and you're like, okay, let me handle it, and you get it done in 1 second. Sadly, that's what we have to do with our government, because our parents don't know how to use a fucking democracy, so we have to. We think what sick fuckers are out there that want to continue to sell more guns, murder more children, and honestly just get reelected. What type of person are you when you want to see more fucking money than children's lives? What type of shitty person does that?
And, like, there's this whole...
Okay, all right, that's enough. I don't want to hear any more of it. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. When a kid when he learns his first curse words, this is what happens. And this was, I'm not sure how old this is. I know it's been taken off. Like, someone made a video. Thank you. Someone made a video that's part of a larger interview. By whom? I don't care. I don't know. And someone just took all the parts where David Hogg is being a little shit, and they stuck it together, and it's just like, it's like 30 seconds. It's a lot, actually. It was more than 30 seconds, right? It's like a half-hour interview, but he acts like an asshole for most of it. And YouTube just suddenly took it down. And the guy, obviously he showed, right? Because you have records of, if anyone doesn't know about YouTube, you have records of what you post. And if it gets taken down, you could still see that you uploaded something and why it was taken down, yada, yada. So it's getting taken down. And a lot of pro-gun YouTube videos are getting taken down. I'm surprised. I had a very successful one that actually we have one of the stars of, Robert, in studio today, and he called in the last episode, which actually was all right, now, I rarely plug, so right now I'm just going to be tooting my own horn. Last episode was the most downloaded episode, just by one download, but and that's just regular episodes. The Shantytown Special. For some reason, people love the Shantytown Special. I might... get some audio of Dave here in a minute, just because, and not right. I have so much audio from Dave that I could show unique ones all the time of him screaming at cops and everything. So I might pull that up later. But yeah, for some reason that was the most, and it has been the most downloaded episode ever since I put it up. I don't know if it was the title that got some people interested, because it just said Dartmouth Mafia exposed, right, compared to Keene Police Bust Vincent's Cherry or whatever other attention-grabbing, attention-whoring clickbait titles I got on my episodes. But so that's been excellent. And no one wants to hear the statistics right now, so I'll get in. It's still, I was going to say, I was about to talk about gun control, but I'm thinking, I talked about that almost all of last episode. I talked about the even previous episodes, but it's still here. It's still here. It's crazy. It's as if the agorists are wrong. That just complaining and bitching all day is going to do any change, right? But not like voting is either. I'm going to stop alienating people now. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got South Africa to talk about, believe it or not, because I think South Africa, all the shit that's going on there, we're going to start stealing. And, well, I'll say the government's going to start stealing people's farms. It's going to... The Marxist government, right? Everyone thinks, after Nelson Mandela, South Africa's totally, everything, it's all peaches and cream in South Africa. No, unfortunately, that's not the case, and we'll get into that later. We got, let's see, this is an old one, but it's still relevant. Hitler Youth Gun Control March Invades Washington. That's an Infowars.com article, hyperbole as always. But I got something special here, and I'm going to get a little bit meta right now, and it's the only article I agree. And so we got a problem. There's a lot of extremism in Keene. There was, those Robin Hooders who were throwing money at people. There's Christopher Cantwell. But now we got, in studio here, we got a sovereign citizen extremist right here, according to the SPLC Center. We got Ian Freeman has been named by the SPLC as a sovereign citizen. Yeah, I got the article right here. It's from 2017. December 21st, 2017. Well-known advocate for far-right common law system sponsors legislation that would officially sanction pseudo-legal, quote, contracts in state system. New Hampshire has a long and unfortunate history of experience with sovereign citizens, dating back to the 1990s when the radical anti-government movement attracted a following in the state's rural areas that culminated with a tragic shooting rampage. Never heard of that. The movement's adherents, however, have lingered on... Carl Draga? Well, look into that. The movement's adherents, however, have lingered on the state's fringes so long and have attracted enough followers in the intervening years that now some of them not only have won election to the state's legislature, but are now introducing bills that would protect and enhance sovereign citizens' extremist, quote, constitutional beliefs. Oh my God, we can't have that going on, right? We can't have a few citizens deciding to not be slaves and think they have rights. The whole system will collapse. A sovereign citizen legislator from Hooksett, they misspelled fucking Hooksett, named Richard, quote, Dick Marple, sponsored the bill, HB 1653, which would essentially protect such common activities by movement followers as filing phony liens against state and local government officials. If passed, not only would sovereign citizens have their imaginary quote, contracts under which they file those liens recognized, but any municipality refusing to play along could be fined $10,000 by the state. The bill uses the typical arcane and obscure language common to sovereign citizen pseudo-legal filing. See, they put these stupid buzzwords like pseudo-legal. You know, I mean, it's a law. It's either it's legal or it's not. It can't be fucking pseudo-legal. And it used to be that... I actually believe it or not, this is one of the pro-freedom things I learned in my journalism class. It used to be that whenever that the government or the courts would always refer whatever gave people the most freedom was their ruling, and then that changed, right? Whatever the government explicitly didn't control, they couldn't control until I think it was like 100 years or so, and then all these psychopaths got into power, and now anything that the government can't do, just a stroke of a pen could give them the power to do it. So it goes on here. All contracts with, quote, I believe the bill says, all contracts with sovereign inhabitants defined under Part 2, Article 30 of the New Hampshire Constitution, sojourners in this republic shall have all elements of any contract being offered fully and completely disclosed and explained, particularly those contracts involving an ens legalis or straw man as commonly referred. A sovereign inhabitant will be harmed by any unrevealed element if such inhabitant does not reserve his or her rights under RSA 382-A1-103 and RSA 381. Therefore, these two citations are to be included above the signature line on the contract with the words all rights reserved or without prejudice RSA a bunch of numbers. Wow, how extreme. How extreme. We got ourselves a Bin Laden right in New Hampshire. That's crazy. The bill goes on to stipulate that, quote, the failure of any corporation to provide full disclosure of all elements of every contract as required by paragraph 1 shall result in the forfeiture of $10,000 to the state treasury. Marple pre-filed the bill in November. It will go before legislature in January 2018. Among the state's sovereign contingent, Marple, an 85-year-old Republican with multiple stints in the legislature, is something of a venerated figure since he has been promoting the ideology since its earlier stints in the assembly dating back to 1999. Most recently, he achieved a kind of notoriety for getting arrested. Does it link to Free Keene here? Union leader, over his refusal to buy a driver's license and then haranguing the district court judge at the hearing in the matter, which he eventually lost. And you could find out on Free Keene, by the way. I don't know who the hell they link to, but it's probably a bunch of bullshit propaganda. So find a real story at freekeene.com. All right, Ian, that'll be $5. Come on. Or whatever you pay Ridley. Come on, fork it up. Marple previously had introduced a bill in the state house in January 2017 that would have effectively ended vehicle registration in New Hampshire. Oh, my God. While simultaneously jailing or fining what Marple described as the culprits that have unlawfully trespassed upon the people's right to travel and committed the common law crime of unlawful conversion of people's private property. Oh my God, we can't have people held accountable for the tyranny and misery they're imposing on people. God forbid. The bill died in committee. These people talk. Oh, here we go. All right, we're getting there. When he came to trial in April 2017, Marple created a classic sovereign citizen style spectacle in the courtroom, yelling at the judges, claiming she had no jurisdiction because she had not filed out his, quote, affidavit of truth, calling her a private profit-making corporation, warning her that she had been convicted of violations by common law court, and assuring her that he did not need to have a license. All right, and we got that and a lot more. Ian enters the story very soon. It's going to be all exciting. It's going to be scandalous. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be on Questioning Authority right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The American robin heralds the beginning of spring in temperate climates across North America. Its red breast makes it easily identifiable as the most disturbingly efficient murderer in the animal kingdom. Robins inculcate their young with these twisted maws. We see an adult robin feeding its young with the ripped-apart viscerae of an innocent worm. Like the Greek hero Atreus eating the flesh of his children at his own table, this black deed must surely curse the entire species. Even the most depraved acts of humanity pale in comparison to the robin's wickedness. Like idiot rapists, they commit their foul deeds with neither foresight nor hindsight. They live entirely in the present. Living beyond space and time, their god is the awful seething maelstrom of chaos at the center of the unfeeling universe.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Okay, and we are back. This is Question Authority live on this Friday night with special guest Cody from Off the Air Live, and now I always do the this man needs to know introduction for guests because I'm nervous and I'm a lazy broadcaster. So Cody, if you want to just briefly, how would you describe yourself? Your credentials, your gravitas.
I don't know. I started doing talk radio in 2007, or podcasting, if you will. But everybody's got a podcast, so that barely counts. I did radio for a bunch of years. I actually got paid for it. And